Here you go, dude, bro. Thought you footy boys wanted to have a little throw around the office.
Really?
Foul show. Foul show. Pretty cool boss, huh? Probably going to start calling me the man. The man. The man. Catch you in 20, brah.
All right, level 11.
Real Guys, Real Sport, Bar TV.
Australia's leading sports organisations have made a pledge to tackle youth binge drinking.
Now when you're watching your favourite sports, like football,
swimming, basketball,
Netball,
and athletics,
you'll see this logo.
it's all about coming together to have a positive influence on our drinking culture.
We're strong enough to say enough.
and you can be too.
Back your judgment.
Stand up for what you believe in.
Be the influence.
Hello and welcome to North Dalton Park for the Cricket Illawarra T20 Grand Finals day. You've got Travis Winks from Wave FM in commentary, joined alongside Troy Coleman from Keira First Grade. G'day Troy, how are you?
Hey Travis, how you going, mate?
Mate, going well. This should be a mouth-watering clash, and from the Butchers camp today, I've got Jacob Hand, who's going to settle in alongside us for the first innings here. Jacob, welcome back to Oz, mate. You've been overseas studying in the US.
Yeah, I've been, Travis. Been in Miami for a bit, mate, but it's great to be back.
How's this weather compared to Miami's?
Not too dissimilar today. Sun's shining. Yeah, good day for cricket.
Blue skies and sunshine. There's a little bit of heat in the air. We've got the chance of a shower, possibly a storm a little later, but they're saying that storm might hit on the southern end of the Illawarra. So fingers crossed we can get through this second grade battle between the Keira Lions and the Northern Districts Butchers, and then get on with first grade just after 3 o'clock this afternoon. Now, Troy, you were down at the toss, mate. What went down?
Nick Theodosiadis, the Keira captain, won the toss today, and he elected to bowl, which is an interesting decision because I generally would like runs on the board to start, but 2020 is a different beast altogether, so we'll see how that pans out.
So this Butchers lineup, Jacob, opening the batting today, we're running with Cottam and Tobin.
It actually looks like Mark Cottam and Paddy Reese, young fella, plays in the under-16s, and he's been scoring a lot of runs this year for the boys.
So we've got our first delivery here, and a play and a miss.
Yeah, that's Link Bendel-Moon, or affectionately known as the Wild Thing of Keira cricket. He's probably the fastest bowler in our club by a fair distance, and he does give him a bit of a spray, but if he gets them on target, it is interesting cricket.
Now, we just had the third grade final wrap up, and it was a comprehensive victory to West Illawarra over Corrimal. And Jacob, for you, being a wicketkeeper, great to see Brian Lattin named man of the match. 6 dismissals, 3 stumpings, 3 catches. Impressive.
Yeah, mate, what a performance from Brian. His glove work was exceptional. 6 dismissals, you don't see that often.
No, it's good to see a wicketkeeper get recognised for his glove work. So West batted first. They won the toss, 9 for 113, and Corrimal were bowled out for 78. It was a 35-run victory. Pretty comprehensive victory there, Troy, for the Red Devils.
Yeah, it was surprisingly comprehensive. You feel that the team chasing would have a bit of a chance when it's a semi-low total, but with as was the case, the man, the match, the keeper really kept him in the game by not really dropping the ball at all. No pun intended.
So Negro 24 off 27 for West Illawarra, and Doig 21. And for Corrimal, Macaulay was 17 off 23. Corrimal were 4 for 19 off 7 overs, so they were always going to struggle chasing, which surprises me that Keira winning the toss and bowling first here. Talking to Dobbo just before this match, and he likes the chances of chasing because he reckons the sun might dry this wicket out a bit.
Yeah, look, we were out there and the square has a bit of moisture to it, but the pitch it really is bone dry, and it is what would be considered a very common North Districts pitch. It's going to be very true. It's going to stay a little bit low, but it's honestly a really great batting pitch. First or second, regardless of where you play, it's going to make a really good game of it.
There's the first extra of the afternoon. Hey, Jacob, the rule. Butchers, I mean, they're very well represented on grand final today, 3 out of the 4 grades. How are the second grade boys feeling?
Mate, I think they're pretty confident. They've been here before, the second grade boys. I think they went down last year, but they learnt from the experience, and good mixture of experience and youth in the side this year too, which I think could be key.
Yeah, it's the 3rd successive grand final meeting between Keira and Northern Districts, and finally some runs off the bat there. A slowish start, but I gather, Troy, just getting a feel these teams.
Yeah, exactly right. They're probably just feeling each other out a bit, like a boxing match, I suppose. You don't really want to go too hard too early and show what you got a bit too early. But yeah, it's one of those things. The outfield looks a little bit sluggish, and I think that's why they've roped their fences in a little bit. But the pitch is very true, and I don't know. I think good cricket shots will be rewarded.
Big appeal.
Maybe just sliding down there.
Sliding. Do you think there was any bat on that?
I'm not really sure. I think from the angle of the movement of the wicket keeper and the angle of the batsman's head, it might have been going down a little bit. It's hard to tell from square leg.
So 3 runs off the first over, a couple of legitimate runs and an extra there. Jacob, a slow start, but I gather just trying to see a little bit of shine off the new ball.
Yeah, that's right, Travis. I think that's the way he plays, Cotto. And once he gets going, especially in 2020, he can be quite destructive. I wasn't there last week or the semi-final, but apparently he hit a nice 6 once he got going early on, straight down the ground, and set up the run chase for him.
Yeah, well, he scored 43 not out off 38 deliveries in the Butchers' 8-wicket victory over Helensburgh. And from this Butchers team, they don't mind chasing runs, so it'll be interesting to see how they go setting a target.
Yeah, it's a bit different for him. Paddy Reese is on strike, a young fella. Watch out for the late cut. It's his main weapon, I think. The boys have told me. Loves playing through point and behind point. Scores a lot of runs there.
Yeah, this is Harry Fisher bowling too. He's had an extended hiatus in Perth, playing a bit of park cricket. Really handy young player. He's been around for a little bit around our club. He joined us when he was just a young fella, but yeah, he's got a lot to offer the team. Dynamite fielder, really skiddy with the ball. Bowls what you call a heavy ball. It doesn't really look like it's coming on too hard, but you feel it when it hits you.
Seemed like he just threw up a bit of a slower ball there, second delivery.
Yeah, he's a crafty bowler. You don't expect it. You talk to him and it doesn't seem like he even knows where he is half the time, but he's one of those players. He's a bit more of a thinking man's cricketer than he probably looks and persona give him credit for.
Not unlike yourself, Troy.
Oh, I think I'm a little bit less crafty and a bit less of a thinking man's cricketer, but there are some similarities, I feel, in terms of how we don't really know where we are half the time. But
well, we've already seen a gloveman start today in third grade, and Jacob is a gloveman. But Troy, you're a first grade spinner for the Keira club. How prevalent do you think spin will be across not only this final but the first grade final as well?
It's one of those things. There's not really the batsman that can really take to or create as much pace as you'd probably like to see. That it's very hard to generate pace. And as the outfield's a little bit slow, they might be looking for the aerial route. So I feel like spin could be a very, very key factor in this final because it is, as I said, hard to generate pace. And with a bit of wind going around, there might be you might see a few hole out in the boundary. But I think spin will play a very big factor.
Well, they know each other very well, these two sides. And the Keira's path to this final, they beat Wests in the semis, won by 7 runs, defending 115. Gasling top scored with 23 in that match a couple of weeks ago. Murphy 17, Felvis 14. So Keira, they're the defending champions. They're looking for 3 titles in a row, and I think Thurul would be quite keen to spoil the party this afternoon, Jacob.
Absolutely, mate. We haven't heard the 4th grade result yet. That was the first game that the Mighty Butchers were a part of, but that was coming right down to the wire. Obviously, the goal would be to get all 3 today for the lads if it's possible.
It was an absolute nail-biter, that 4th grade match, and we do know that Thurul were chasing 91 for victory, and last we heard on one of the other fields here at the complex that... Well, there we go. So Thurul has claimed their first victory here today. They've taken out the 4th grade final, scored the final run off the last ball to win, chasing 91 for victory. So an absolute thriller in 4th grade for the older boys of the Northern District.
That's right, mate. The gold boys they prefer rather than the old boys, I think, but they'll be absolutely stoked with that, and no doubt they'll be celebrating into the afternoon and maybe even till about 8 p.m. before they shuffle off to bed tonight.
Well, I'm sure they'll enjoy a few cans over here at North Dalton Park as they watch their 2nd graders take on Keira. Troy, for the Keira Lions, I mean, they're a very experienced outfit. They know what it's like to win these big matches. How were they in the lead up to this one?
It's a bit of you've been there before. We've seen a lot of scenarios play out in the grand finals, and there's a few players for Keira today that have been in more finals than I've had hot breakfasts at. James Peary affectionately refers to himself as the talisman of Keira cricket, and any team he's in, he backs them to get a grand final, or at least a grand final, a berth. But yeah, very experienced outfit, got a lot of different cards in the deck, and I feel like the experience might get them home here.
So relatively tight bowling at the moment.
Yeah, it is very surprising, to be honest, because I did face Link in the nets yesterday, and I think he hit the side netting more than he hit the back netting. But yeah, he's an interesting bowler, and I think he's added a lot to his game lately. I think that the pace and the variety was something that he never lacked, but the accuracy, especially in the 2020, it's good to see he's kind of developed that aspect of his game a bit more.
Yeah, poor young Paddy. I've talked up his late cut and he's just missed 3 in a row, so I think I've put the mocker on him with that one.
Well, Bendel Moon's chasing a maiden here in the third over. And another play and a miss. I just get the sense right now that the Pat's feeling the pressure here, because in 2020 cricket you've got to score runs, and they've just been pegged down here, the Butchers.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a hard game. Sometimes a situation like this, not a bad idea to drop one and take a single. Get the more experienced Cotto on strike. He's been here before, and as we said, he's in good batting form.
Great touch. He's in exceptional touch, Mark Cottam, in the back end of this T20 competition.
It is a very easier said than done scenario.
Or chance direct throw would be close, but not, and they scamper through for a single.
Almost exactly what you said there, Jake. Just drop the bat down on one and rotate the strike. And it is very hard to do that, though. If you're chasing balls that you know are in your normal area, it's very, very difficult to try and change that aspect of the game. If you're a natural on late cut, as you said he was, it's very difficult to change that part of your game. But it's good to see he's rotated the strike, even though it was a bit of a risky run out. But he's got the desired result.
And Cottam, just all class, whips it away. Little slip there, but safely back for the second.
Fielded by Matt Stark there. A shot that played by Cotton that Matt Stark would enjoy himself. He's a known noodler of the ball, not much power behind his batting, but he doesn't mind getting on that front pole and working them to the mid-wicket region.
So you'd think Cottam will be the key here at the top of this order, because he just oozes class in second grade cricket, doesn't he, Jacob?
Yeah, that's right. He's learnt his game over the last few seasons especially, I think, and he's been batting really well. The other one to watch out for, obviously Paddy Reese is a gun. He's a youngster. He's only 15, as I said. And if he gets going, he can be good to watch. Coming in at number 3, I think we got Rob Murphy, who's leading the averages for second grade in this 2020 competition. As Paddy flicks it away.
Whips it. That could go all the way to the boundary for 4. It'll be interesting to see if it slows up, and it does. It's incredibly slow outfield this afternoon.
Yeah, and it generally does have some of the best draining in the Illawarra. It has been a bit of a deluge of rain of late, and most of the grounds were underwater. Keira's home ground obviously was very much underwater only yesterday, so it's remarkable the shape that the ground's in, considering how much rain we've had, but it is expectedly slow, unfortunately.
Fisher again, and Rees picks up another single. So it just looks as though Rees is just starting to work into a bit of a groove, because for a young bloke, I mean, he could have just absolutely folded up like an origami crane after those successive dot balls, but he's just all of a sudden worked away for a few runs.
Absolutely, mate, and he's just going to get more confident, isn't he, the more time he spends out there.
So good to see a young kid, get a taste of second grade T20 cricket. I mean, his future, incredible.
Oh, absolutely. There's a couple of them in this game for the Butchers. That's what we do, pride ourselves as a club on the way we develop our youth and get the young boys into grade cricket nice and early. We've got him and John O'Keefe both playing for second grade today. They're 15 and 14 respectively.
So Keys is just 14.
14 years old, yeah.
Wow.
It is great seeing the young kids come through the grade cricket as well. The Keira fourth grade team that lost earlier was our father-sons team, and it's a great transitional team for the club. It's a good way of fathers to play with their obviously play cricket with their sons, which I played with my father, and it was one of those experiences that I probably won't realise the gravity of that until I'm a bit older. But it's a great way to get your young kids through into the adult cricket, and it's a good way of sharing and valuing experiences with the younger generation.
The rule just settling into a groove now. Fisher conceding a few singles, and Northern Districts have moved along to none for 11 in the fourth over. So, we saw earlier today that West Illawarra had no troubles knocking over Corrimal to win the third grade title, a 35-run victory. They scored 113. I mean, looking at the deck, boys, there's good runs there as well. You've had a good inspection of the wicket. What are you thinking, that 110, 115 sort of mark?
Yeah, generally a score over 100 is very defendable. It's one of those things. It's a very big mental, challenge to try and chase down the runs. And I feel like 100 runs is it doesn't sound like very much, but it really is. It's a great big hurdle once you get from 99 to 100, because chasing 100 sounds a lot harder than if you're chasing 90 odd. I feel like any score over 100 is very defendable.
See, now they're just getting those quick singles, aren't they, Jacob?
Yeah, and I think that's going to be the key to good batting today, or one of the keys at least. As we saw in third grade, it's very hard to score a boundary, very hard to find the boundary here at Dalton Park, and it could be the case again in 2. So the more 1s and 2s you can get, the better your total's going to be.
And this is James Peary coming to the bowling attack. He does bowl a very handy half volley, but he is a master of taking wickets. It boggles the mind of how many wickets he takes on what you'd think is a reasonably easily hitting length, but we'll see. I wouldn't be surprised if he wraps a few on the pads here early days, because that is his length and that is his line. So we'll see if he bowls some of his coined half volleys.
How often in Illawarra cricket has there been this scene as well? Peary to Cottam. They must have played each other a few times, I think.
Oh, if they had frequent flyers for how many times these guys have played against each other, you'd fly yourself across the world. They've been playing each other for the last decade almost.
Well, it should be a good battle here, and of course these two sides no strangers at this level on this day over the last few summers. Lions looking for their third second grade T20 title in a row. The Butchers, I mean, it's an unfortunate tag, Jacob, but at this level on this day, they're just playing bridesmaid.
Yeah, that's certainly a tag they'll be looking to shake today.
Absolutely.
But as I said, if you lose the game...
He might lose his footing there, I tell you what.
Yeah, interesting, Chase.
That's the first boundary of the afternoon. And Cottam picks up 4 very handy runs.
Yeah, as I was saying, though, if you lose the game, you can't lose the lesson, can you? And that's what this side will be looking to do today. Out to prove a point, I think.
Hope you're enjoying our Bar TV Sports Cricket Illawarra T20 Grand Final day here, powered by Johnson Legal. And there's the first wicket. Cottam's gone.
Just trying to dab one down to the vacant third man, and just got a faint edge through to James Stacey, who gloved it pretty well low to the ground. A valuable breakthrough, you think, for Keira. They were setting a nice little foundation for a bigger score to come.
Yeah, just sort of felt for that one, didn't he? Didn't really commit to the shot. He'll be disappointed, Cotto, but out to the crease now. Australian out with the Milos Ranić armband, is in a cap as well, is Rob Murphy.
The big Milos Ranić. Has he got 2 on?
He's got 2 on just in case. He needs both arms, this bloke.
He's got the Under Armour.
The interesting thing about this batting combination too, as I have a chat there, is that Rob Murphy actually coaches young Pat in the under-16, so I wonder which way that'll be going at the moment. Who'll be telling who what's going on. Well,
look, after a sluggish start from the rule, they've progressed to 1 for 18. We're in the 5th over here, and they were just starting to find a bit of a groove, and all of a sudden you lose your danger man at the top of the order, Mark Cottam, who's just been in stellar form of recent times. He's gone, and Northern District's 1 for 18.
Yeah, Rob will certainly back himself, though. He doesn't lack confidence as a batsman, which is good. He never has. He's always played as a fast bowler, but did his shoulder on the bench press pre-season, bulking up for the new season, and the physio told him he wouldn't play again, so he thought, okay, I'll take the gloves. So he's currently keeping for second grade and batting number 3.
How's he go as a keeper?
He's tidy. He gloves them well. His footwork probably leaves a little to be desired. He won't like me saying that, but
those summer bodies don't sculpt themselves, so
yeah, it's true. And have a look at him. Isn't he looking good today?
Oh, he's looking lean, isn't he?
Does he always bat in a cap?
I don't think so. He's got a terrible helmet, though. We wore it the other day. It looks like an under-12s helmet, so I think that's what he might be going for. Might have opted for the cap instead of that.
And the long sleeves to hide his Michael Clark tattoos. Or just a small misfield
didn't quite
there.
Carry, but a little heart palpitation there for Robert Murphy.
And Keira's really tightened this field up here. I don't mind this ploy. Don't give him any easy runs. The last thing you want as a bowler is to let him lean on what is pretty much a block shot and get off the mark. So it's good to see him tighten the field. And we'll see if this leads to any bigger shots.
Lightish breeze blowing across North Dalton Park.
Chance for a run out.
Yeah, good piece of running. That's good batting from Pat.
All over it.
Yeah, that was fielded by CJ Smith. I think a man who was entirely comprised of slow twitch fibers, unfortunately. He's a handy little batsman. He bowls nice little off spin, but pace across the ground is not really his forte.
Battle of the Redheads here too, Troy.
Oh, it's good to
Peary
see.
to Murph.
It's good to see the redheads aren't dying out. As a proud redhead myself, I really embrace this challenge.
Good first over there from James Peary. Picked up the valuable wicket of Mark Cottam, and the Northern District's Butchers move along to 1 for 21 after 5 overs. And a bit of pressure here on young Paddy Rees now to really anchor things through that he's had a bit of time at the crease.
Absolutely, and he's a player I haven't seen much of, so I'm very excited to see how he responds to this situation. Probably a good bloke to have at the other end, to be honest, in Rob.
He does look like a good foil. He looks like he can work the change the strike around a bit. He looks like he's got shots for single all around the ground, and just I hope he doesn't try and play outside his game and play too many expensive shots, because his job now as the last remaining opening batsman is to kind of work the strike around.
So Fisher's back for his third over. Will they bowl him out, Troy?
It's interesting. It kind of raises the debate. Do you want to look for early wickets and get the key batsman out, or do you want to save him later to be tight? His economy rate isn't what it probably should be at this level. He's going at about 7 and over, which is unfortunate. But we don't. Do we want to save 7 and over at the end of the innings when there's lower order batsmen, or do you want to try and chance your arm and get a wicket? So I feel like they might save him. They might save him an over because he has got the handy knack of taking wickets. But we'll see. We'll see how he goes this over.
Oh, that's a nice shot from Pat.
That is.
Gee, it pulled up quick though, didn't it? You only get 2 for it.
Well, it actually seems as though the eastern side of North Dalton Park seems to be a little bit slower than this western side, because we have seen just the one boundary so far this afternoon over this side. So maybe there's still a little bit more moisture over where those seagulls are congregating.
Yeah, it could be.
Eastern side closer to the creek, so there might be a bit more moisture floating around on the oval.
Oh.
I think he's called a no ball. I think he's got him for overstepping, yeah.
Yeah, wow, we might have a look at a Johnson legal replay on that one if possible. No ball, and Rees gets a life.
What do you reckon? I think you might have seen the front foot overstep there and just chip one up to mid-wicket. Would have good awareness from the young fella.
That is the cardinal sin of bowling. No one means to front foot no ball, but you've got to give yourself that extra couple of centimetres as he faces the free hit. And drives it sweetly to mid-off.
He does his best, but picked out the fielder.
You don't mind seeing that, though. It adds a bit of spice to the game. And if it comes down to being 1 run needed at the end, we can look back on that moment.
Here's the Johnson legal replay of Fisher's delivery to Rees. And we'll just see how far he stepped over the mark. Looks as though it was a no ball. You could see Rees just sort of basically pulled out of the shot, didn't he? He just put bat on it and he knew.
Yeah,
knew.
Perhaps.
That's the way it looks.
He got away with that one.
There's a good loud call from Steve Say too. He's sporting his Ron Jeremy moustache today, which is he paid me a handsome sum of money to mention. He's looking lean and brown, so
slower ball there from Fisher.
Oh, it's a good run.
Cheeky single.
Good bit of cricket that all round. I think a nice shot. Good bit of fielding from the bowler.
I think James Peary remembered what the colour of the ball was there. He was looking around for nothing, unfortunately. He is red-green colourblind, so I don't know what his excuse is for the white ball.
Fair dinkum.
Yeah. Wow. Who would have thought? Ginger, red-green colourblind, he must be a real ladies' man.
Has he ever turned up in the wrong 2020 strip, rocked up in Corrimal's colours?
Yeah. I think Christmas is a bit overwhelming for him, unfortunately, but...
And again, the slowish outfield on that eastern side denies another potential boundary.
A good piece of running, though. That's been the feature of this partnership so far, hasn't it? The running between wickets.
And Harry Fisher a bit expensive in his third over, I think. I don't think they'll bowl him out at this rate. They might hold him for a bit, see if they need an injection of a bit of extra pace a bit later on the innings. But I feel like if they're getting on top of him now, we might save it for a different batsman.
So the Butchers 1 for 30 after 6 overs. After being sent in here by Keira, who are chasing their third successive Cricket Illawarra second grade T20 championship. We got Peary back in commission.
Yeah, James Peary, he does enjoy having a long bowl. He'd bowl 20 overs if you gave him the opportunity.
Playing a miss. Wide.
And a wide as well. Frank Chochi there. I feel like it wouldn't matter if he knew your name or not. He'd call you Shagger, son or mate. He's known all around Illawarra, and everyone introduces himself as, "Oh, how you going, son? How you going, Shagger?" And everyone knows he's there. You know who your umpire is when you hear him walking in.
That's right. A wonderful bloke.
He's a very good bloke. Very good.
Loves his cricket.
Export Kembla cricketer. had a few battles in our past, and I think he may have got the better of me a few times.
Yeah. Tight lines there from Peary.
Also a soccer referee, so he must have very thick skin.
Just loves officialdom.
Oh, he does. He loves the power.
Maybe the uniform.
Yeah.
Well, he's not showing the pins this afternoon and the long pants. I'm sure he gets the pins out being a soccer referee.
Here we go,
Completely
Paddy.
hair-free like one of those cats from all accounts in his soccer shorts. Glistening in the sunlight, but unfortunately the long kit today. It is a sunny day, so I think he's made the correct decision.
Yeah, that's right.
Absolutely. There's a little bit of bite in the sun here. It's a light breeze. There is the chance of a shower, potentially a storm a little later this afternoon. We had a cracker blow over the top of the escarpment yesterday afternoon. A misfield there. They'll come back for the second.
It's a little bit lazy at cover.
Yeah,
it's
that's
a little bit lazy.
Link Bendel Moon there. He was the first draft pick for the Australian Tunnelball team. And he's showing his prowess there.
That's what good running between wickets will do, though, won't it? It puts a bit of pressure on the fielders. You get mistakes like that.
Exactly right. If you get him thinking about more than one thing at once, Link, he's a bit lackadaisical when it comes to his fielding.
Oh, it didn't quite carry. Just they're creating some opportunities, the Lions.
Exactly right. Yeah, for the free flowingness of the runs, you wouldn't expect there to be this many chances, but it's a very good toing and throwing battle that we've got happening out there.
Yeah, good game of cricket. What score do you think the Butchers will be looking to post here? What would you call par?
Par. I've got to still stick with 100.
Oh, Reese could be out here. Stacey calls it, takes the catch safely. The wicket keeper gets his second catch of the afternoon, and all of a sudden the Northern District's Butchers 2 for 33, and both openers find themselves back in the pavilion.
That was a deceptively difficult catch there. It looked like he was staring straight up into the sun there, and his John Butler dreadlocks couldn't protect him. Got the replay now.
And Peary's got his second wicket of the afternoon.
Yeah, as we can see on the Johnson legal replay, the ball skied in the air. He's protecting his vision from the sun, and he's standing on the stumps there, which is an interesting ploy, maybe to keep himself stable on the ground.
I tell you what,
Can't
he's
be
lucky.
Sure, not a keeper.
Lucky he's wearing a box there, because could have been a little bit uncomfortable if there was a bit of free hang time.
Exactly right. You don't want to be shish kebabbed in the middle of the game, do you?
Hell no. That's for the barbecue post-match.
Yeah.
Logan Clements is the new batsman, fellas. He's at the non-striker's end because the batsman crossed. He's been hitting them well in the nets, Logan, so it'll be interesting to see how he goes today.
It is one of the greatest challenges in your cricketing life, being able to take net form into centre wicket form. It's a different kettle of fish altogether, unfortunately, and I feel like you can be the best net batsman in the world, but if you can't get it on the big stage, then it's very difficult as they scuttle through for a quick single.
Yeah, good batting there from Murphy. And what it does is secures him the strike for the start of the next over, just to give Clemens a little bit of a chance to get a feel for what's happening out there in the middle. Smart cricket, Jacob.
Yeah, that's right, and he is a smart cricketer. He's on the field, he's quite smart. And he's played a lot too, even though, as I said, he was a fast bowler. He's always been a good bat, and he's always known what's going on in the game. So at this stage, that could be very important for the next few overs.
And this is Matt Stark coming into the attack. He's handy little right arm off spinner. He's got himself a cult following after his performance a couple of years ago in the grand final, where he scored a quick fire 9. All that watching thought it was a bit more than that, but he's a very handy cricketer. I wouldn't be surprised if he doesn't flight any, which is something he's been working on the nets. I think he's just trying to bowl some nice tight lines and forcing the batsman to play a shot that really isn't there.
No surprises that they've decided to give Harry Fisher a rest after 3 overs. He had plenty of variation. But,
how much of it was intentional, though?
Well, I'm going to say that all of it was intentional.
And if he got a wicket, he'd say it was intentional as well.
Absolutely. Well, like the rule batsman had to go after somebody, and not that they totally went after Harry Fisher, but he conceded more runs than Bendel Moon, because Bendel Moon absolutely had the screws on. So someone had to concede something, and unfortunately it was Fisher in his first 3.
Yeah. And it's something as a bowler, it's kind of hard to control. If someone's bowling really tight at the other end, you always seem like the person who's as Starkey's driven through the covers.
Oh,
the Silver Fox, Doug Murphy collects and throws to the bowler's end, but they get through for 3.
How about that? Another interesting stat from today. I think we've seen 3 different Murphys already, none related in the 2 matches we've had.
Exceptional.
Well, Doug Murphy's got a lot to do with junior cricket here in the Illawarra with the T20 blast and the like, and of course, exciting stuff for the young girls here too, with the Sixers Sunday competition about to kick off in the coming weeks, which is really exciting to grow the game within the young girls. They've got a couple of different age groups, and a good opportunity to see what other talent can maybe progress through to the Women's Big Bash League, which has been a huge success this summer.
Exactly right. It's been something that's been great to see, the growth of women's cricket. It's one of those things that it's kind of got a very male stigma about it. Cricket, you sit there and it's the wallpaper of the summer, the cricket, and the stereotype is that the men sit in front of the cricket and watch it. But I really like seeing the family and female engagement in the cricket, and especially if we can get it to more regional communities, it's exceptional. You don't see many female cricketers floating around out there, and I think that's disappointing because I feel like they've got a lot to offer the game.
Oh, it's a great sport for young girls. Fantastic sport.
Oh, exactly right. Exactly right. A lot of good friendships are made in the cricket team because you can see what someone has to offer. You know someone inside and out if you play cricket with them for a little bit, and it's something that I feel like the girls have been missing out on a little bit. It's really good to see a bit more female engagement.
So Jacob, with your time over in the States, over in Miami, we know that Warnie and Tendulkar had that 2020 exhibition series over in the States. Was cricket talked about much at all?
Mate, not at all, to be honest. I tried very hard to get the Americans to get around a bit of cricket, but they didn't really enjoy it. I saw there was one Saturday night where I saw a group of blokes playing a game of cricket out on the field there at the uni, but it soon turned into pretty much baseball. So they sort of had an idea. They tried hard, but they weren't quite there.
So were you the instigator of there's an opportunity, and
taken by Doug Murphy?
Unfortunately, Robert Murphy is heading back to the pavilion. Just chipped it, didn't he?
He did. Bowled Peary, caught Murphy.
Peary's third wicket.
Yeah, James Peary has an uncanny knack of taking wickets with it, whatever ball he bowls. He could be bowling off spin, leg spin. He could be bowling with his left hand. He will take wickets. It's something that you can't teach, and it's something that I very much wish I had. Caught by Doug Murphy, which is
the Silver Fox.
Yeah, the Silver Fox, Doug Murphy. I think he's 51 years of age, and his cricketing record is something that would bring you weak in the knees. He's scored over 40 centuries through New Zealand, Wales and Australia. He's scored 4 double centuries and a 340 over match, which is incredible. I don't think
That'll do me. Why does he still play?
That many minutes on the field.
He loves it.
I would have retired after the 300. That's incredible.
You could just tell. I actually had a chat to him before this match started, and you can just tell that the guy loves the game of cricket.
Good on him.
He does enjoy a weekend away from the family too, from all accounts. So I feel like cricket is a very good game for that. It's one of the longest you could find. A bit of solitude. You can have a bit of Doug time, which is nice. But yeah, to score a 300 in a 40 over match when you weren't even the opening batsman and you got out before the end is something that really boggles the mind if you're a cricketer, and if you're not a cricketer, it's something that may even be wasted on you. It's an incredible thing.
Stu Pryor is the new batsman. Disco Stu.
Disco Stu. How's he get that name?
You should see him on a dance floor, mate. He's torn it up a couple of times out in the northern suburbs there.
Those hips don't lie. You are correct. James Peary steaming in. Another what appears to be full toss, but
good fielding there from Keira.
Yeah, very good fielding.
So the Northern District's Butchers 3 for 37, and just when you think they're starting to build a little partnership, Peary has different ideas.
Yeah, that's right. It's happened every time, hasn't it? He's bowled very well, no doubt about that.
It's going to be a wide.
Yeah, as I say that yet again, I've put the mocker on. Yeah.
Well, he's bowled a couple of extras this afternoon, but I tell you what, when you've taken 3 wickets, 1 in each of your overs, you're entitled to bowl a couple of loose ones.
Yeah, that's true.
I'll be mentioning the wides later. I feel like over a couple of beers he'll be telling you the play-by-play of every one of his wickets.
And so he should, because at the moment he's bowling exceptionally well.
Ooh.
Misfield there,
well
and Pryor's off the mark.
Oh, that is suicide.
Wants to come back, safely get the second.
Tell you what, bit of rush of blood there from young Logan, but he got away with it.
He did. I wonder if they'll have a quiet word to each other at the end of the over.
Saw a little bit of Stu's dance moves in the middle of the pitch there, didn't we, going back and forth?
And that was unfortunately misfielded by CJ Smith, who's a very bright young talent of Keira cricket. This is his first final for Keira, so maybe the gravity of the situation's putting a bit of pressure on him. But he's a good young player, and I hope that the nerves settle down a bit.
Variation of pace there from Peary for sure then.
Yeah, he's gone from slow to slower.
Jeez.
Very good mix-up. Keep the batsman guessing.
Well, I like what he's serving up at the moment.
Oh, you wouldn't complain, and that's why you're allowed to give him a little bit every now and then, just to keep that ego from getting a bit too large. Because every now and then you feel like the doors at the Wiseman's Park Bowling Club aren't big enough to get him through if he's had a good performance on the weekend.
Now, is that where the celebrations will be, whether it's a win or a loss this afternoon for the Lions?
Yeah, they've actually been a very recent and very fruitful sponsorship deal with the Wiseman's Park Bowling Club for Keira Cricket. They've been very, very supportive of our club, and they've given us some money to get some nice new kit and really just help us out. They've been great. They've been very generous to us, and I feel like there's behind every club there's some good sponsors, and we've stumbled across a good one there, which is fantastic. So it's great to see, and they've been very supportive of us. So we'll definitely go back and wet the whistle, just show our support to the club that's given us so much.
Well, hopefully they're streaming our Bar TV Sports live coverage of the Cricket Illawarra T20 Grand Final Day, powered by Johnson Legal at the Wiseman Park Bowling Club. What about the Butchers, Jacob? 3 teams in the 4 finals here today. What's the plans?
Mate, I think we'll be packing out Thurl Bowling Leagues and Recreation Club this evening. They're our major sponsor, the Hidden Treasure, cheapest beer north of Bulli Pass.
I tell you what, if all 3 grades get up, we know that the Rural 4th grade won their first final earlier today, and we've got this one, and then of course the first grade boys up against Helensburgh a little bit later on, which we will be streaming live on Bar Sports TV and across the Cricket Illawarra website. You'd have to think that'd be free beers, wouldn't it?
Yeah, they might run out of beer if all 3 get up, I think.
Beer flavoured cordial later. But it's good to see the rise of Northern Districts cricket, because when I first started grade cricket, Holly Mountain, the home of the Butchers, was tough to play on. I'll give you that. There was a few demons in the pitch, but they've sorted out the field. The club seems to be in very good stead, and as you mentioned earlier, Jake, a chance for some silverware for the first time in a few years. So it's very good to see.
Oh, big appeal, chance of LB. It was pitched up. Umpire not interested.
Yeah, not a great shot, was it? He's probably got to come forward to this bloke, maybe skip down the pitch, knock him over the top. I like Stu when he bats positively.
Yeah, Steve Say, an ex-fast bowler. I think he wouldn't mind seeing him charging in from a bit longer run-up and wrap him on the pads. He might have been a bit more inclined to give it out if he was coming off a few more paces. But very, very good umpire, and he's very good for the game. Very charismatic. People like having him as their umpire. Bad calls don't seem like such bad calls when it's coming from Steve Say.
Troy, as a first grade spinner, not that ball, but the couple before that from Starkey definitely pitched them up. Well, what's the thinking behind that?
I feel like the thinking, Matt Stark, I spoke to him yesterday. We had a bit of a run because the second grade game was called off, and he was bowling, and he was telling me how he was planning on just bowling what is essentially Yorkers. He's trying to bowl nice and full, because the last thing you want to do is give someone the length that they can hit. And I feel like he's a bit of a defensive bowler in that aspect, but he's got an exceptional wrist position, a wrist position that I would give anything to have. He can turn a ball a great deal, so I wouldn't even mind seeing him keep pitching it up, but maybe even fly it up a little bit more. Try and tempt the batsman into a bit more of an expansive shot, and use that spin that he's got and the spin that North Dalton can sometimes cultivate, and chance his arm a little bit. There's someone out of deep mid wicket, so we'll see.
Deep. He's almost over the other side of the fence.
Yeah, very deep. I feel like he might be on Fairy Meadow Beach there, but walking in.
So, Jacob, how do Clements and Pryor handle spin? Do they like having a shot at the spinners?
Yeah, I think Pryor enjoys it. He doesn't mind. He's a pretty aggressive batsman, so if he can get under him, he'll go after him. Logs has been out a few times for spinners, but he'll certainly back himself as well. A young fella as well, Logan. He looks about 24, but I think he's only 16 as well. So
another teenager.
Yeah, that's right. Another great representative for the Butcher youth we've got coming through.
So Northern Districts 3 for 48 after 10 overs. So at the moment, like, what's the theory on the last 10 with 7 wickets in hand, boys?
I feel like 100 should still be that goal. It's a good platform. If they double what they've got here, they've still got a few batsmen in the shed, so it might nearly even be time for someone to chance their arm a little bit as he's driven through the covers very nicely.
Yeah,
it might just be 2
back
here.
For the second.
Picked up by the sub fielder, Nick Stacey, who is the 12th man for Keira today. Troy Gasling was off the field for a little bit. He's actually suffers from sciatica, which is not ideal for anyone who's experienced it. It's where one of your nerves bifurcates a muscle, which is not ideal. But yeah, he's suffering from lower back pain, so he's normally a pretty handy bowler. So I wouldn't be surprised if he doesn't bowl at all today.
Disappointing. So Jacob, you still think that triple figures is very much the priority here?
Yeah, definitely. I think you get to 100, and then when you got blokes like Graham Sismy especially to come, he's a big hitter. If he can get onto a few late, they can even push it over 100, get up towards 120, up towards a run of ball, which is a pretty intimidating total on this ground, I think.
He's a sumptuous hitter of the ball, Sismy. He's shipped me over the fence a few times, but yeah, he is a dangerous prospect still waiting in the shed, so it might nearly be...
Directed Doug in trouble. But
Doug Murphy not moving like a 51-year-old, that's for sure. Pick up and throw.
He's good,
exceptional. Isn't he? Yeah, for a 51-year-old, if I could still be vertical at 51, I would be a very, very happy man. Glass half full if I could even lace my own shoes on, let alone be running around like one of the young blokes out there.
I'm 35 and I struggle to lace my shoes on. That's why I wear slip-ons these days.
Velcro's the go. It is the go. Wasn't made for no reason. As Peary comes into his last over.
So they bowled out Peary here, which, I mean, why wouldn't you? 3 wickets so far, a wicket in every one of his overs. He certainly has given Keira a very big chance of restricting Northern Districts to something that is chaseable at this point.
Yeah, absolutely. And he's a terrific bowler as well. He's really put the squeeze on in these middle overs. The thing is, since he's bowled out, they're going to have to go for different bowlers towards the end of the innings, aren't they? He seems like he'd be a pretty good death bowler usually.
Yeah, he is quite a good death bowler. It's one of those things, he's bowling in length that if he just misses it, there is not much margin for error, and it becomes a very hittable length if he just bowls that little bit shorter. So I feel like if he's in the zone, why not use him for his 4 overs? He's got 3 wickets with very little returns in terms of runs. I feel like this is a smart choice.
Oh,
chance.
Did that carry?
Yeah, I think it did. It was sharp though, wasn't it?
You could just see it, particularly in that over, that last over there from Peary, that there's definitely some intent from Clemens and Pryor. They seem to be hitting with a bit more force.
Yeah, I think so. I think that's what you'll see. It's almost the way the batting lineup's structured, is that they've got the workers of the ball up the top, and then lower down the order you go, the hard leg in a swing until you get to Stevie Bond at number 10.
Steve Bond has been a thorn in Keira's side for many years. I don't think you could count how many times he's taken a 5 for against Keira.
I tell you.
I, as a one-eyed Keira supporter, would hope that he doesn't take a 5 for today, but he's every bit a chance because he's a very crafty bowler, moves it both ways, and does not give you much to hit.
He's fired up too, mate. I was having a chat to him earlier. He's pretty keen, the Bond.
Stark's on again. Dot ball. He's been very tight thus far this afternoon, Troy.
Very tight, Matt Stark. I'm not sure if he's mentioned to anyone yet, but he does like running, so he's lost a bit of weight. He moves well through the crease. He wears his run Wollongong shirt every chance he gets. He is a very crafty character on the field, which is good. He's flighted one up there.
That up. Opportunity
very
for a
sharp,
stumping.
and it's a stumping. Beautifully done.
Wow. Be fascinated to see how tight that was. We'll get a Johnson legal replay happening real soon. And Logan Clemens, a little bit peeved as he slaps the bat into the ground as he walks off.
Yeah, as I said, mate, he gets out a lot to spinners. He's just got tied down a little bit there by Peary and then by Stark, the first ball of that over. But he had to go for it. And what a day for wicketkeepers, eh? I think that's his 3rd dismissal, this guy.
It's a great way to showcase rural wicket keepers. It's fantastic
Johnson
to see.
legal replay, and
that back foot does look elevated. I think it's a very good call from Frank Ciocci there.
Good gloves, really good gloves.
And a good work from Stacey. And Jacob, you do mention keepers. Brian Latin, the keeper for West Illawarra, tremendous today. 6 dismissals, 3 stumpings, 3 catches. Man of the match in West 35-run victory over Corrimal in the 3rd grade final.
Yeah, absolutely. Great to see. And then you've got, what's the Keira's keeper?
James Stacey with 2 catches and a stumping already. It's been a great day for wicket keepers.
3 out of 4 wickets fallen. And the man we were recently talking about, Graham the Sismy, has come to the crease. Yeah, promoted himself. He doesn't mind. Probably likes the look of the off-spinner, I think.
It was good to see Stark flight that last ball up too. I mentioned before how he was bowling pretty flat. That one was very clearly flighted up a bit more, which is maybe an indication that he's finding a bit more confidence. There's a tight run out here on the keeper's end.
Here, and Stacey gets a run out, and wow, all of a sudden the Butchers
are butchering it.
They've just absolutely lost their heads here. That was a crazy run.
Yeah, it was a poor call from Sis. Poor old Stu. responded, as you taught to do, responded to the call. But a good piece of fielding as well. Got the throw in over the pegs, and we got the replay
Johnson
here.
legal replay.
Picked up and fielded by Nick Stacey. Nick Stacey throws it. Good take from James Stacey and whips the barrels up very nicely. The bat seems to have bounced up there as he got to the line, which probably didn't help his cause. But again, as we were saying, wicket keepers on show today.
Yeah, not an ideal situation for the Butchers here. 5 for 52 in the 12th over. Might be reassessing that past score we're talking about. Pat Tobin on his way out to the crease in the sky blue helmet. Good couple of blokes to have at the crease in this situation though, Paddy. Great bloke, lots of experience, done a lot of good things for Butcher cricket. Captain third grade for a long time, and then you've got the second grade captain at the moment, Graham Sisme, up the other end. So.
Yeah, they need this experience to just settle down here and keep them on target for that triple figures. Now, Tobin initially, from our information, was slated to open the batting. He's coming in at 7, and Sisme, the skipper's promoted himself. So, whilst they've lost their heads here, albeit momentarily, these two are going to be very, very important to whatever the Butchers can conjure up here.
Yeah, absolutely right. I think they've got a bat for as long as they... Probably the next 5 overs, you'd want these two at the crease.
And you'd hope that run out doesn't affect Sisme's batting. It's one of those things that it can happen very easily. You want to get off the mark and you push that hard single, but sometimes it doesn't pay off. It was borderline. If he had got home safe, it would have been good running, but you just hope that it doesn't affect the natural free-flowing game that Sisme has, because it'd be great for the crowds and they'd be charging an admission if he starts going off.
I want to see him go off.
It is very entertaining, and he can hit a long ball.
Can go one of two ways though, can't it, with Grummy?
It is.
Sisme has the 7th highest T20 score of the season. I think from memory scored 53 back in the first round.
And you imagine that wouldn't be off too many balls either. So I wouldn't mind seeing a replica, even as a smaller innings of that as a Keira supporter, but I wouldn't mind seeing him hit a few boundaries. He is very enjoyable to watch. And as I think the change of bowler here, it looks like CJ Smith. Yeah, CJ Smith. Yep. Definitely, yeah. Good young bowler. Gives it a bit of flight, bit of rip as well. Another bowler that can turn a ball. Not ideal for the first grade spinner who hasn't even turned a ball in his life. Couldn't turn a doorknob, this guy. But yeah.
That was a very handy over there from Stark. If you're just joining us on our Bars TV Sports coverage, 2 wickets in that last over. And all of a sudden the Butchers are in a bit of strife. To give you a bit of a recap, like we've had 12 overs completed. They're 5 for 53 after 10 the rule with 3 for 48. So Stark prevalent there. One was a run out and one was a brilliant stumping from Stacey. But all of a sudden, you've got to say the Lions are on top.
Yeah, no doubt about that. They've bowled well as well, Keira. They've bowled very well. The Butchers have just got to stick with their plans, I think, play their natural game. I think Paddy's the kind of batsman who should be trying to see this off till the 20th over as he plays and misses a sweep shot.
Tobin wanted a big piece of that then. That was coming right towards our commentary box if he'd connected.
Certainly was, and I feel like I might put out a monetary prize for any commentator that catches the ball from all the other commentators, but we'll see how that goes. But yeah, he's given it a good bit of flight here, CJ Smith, which is very good to see. Not too long ago, he was playing in our father-son's 4th grade team, but it's good to see the rise of a young, good cricketer in Keira cricket. Not afraid to flight one up either, which is very good to see.
Yeah, excellent start. 3 dot balls, I think, so Pat will be feeling the pressure here.
Where does the release come from? There's a big swing.
And it's misfield. Picks up a single. Couple of misfields in the Lions attack here this afternoon, which probably really is the only negative thus far in their performance.
Yeah, you'd be correct in saying that. It's difficult because the field is in very close, with the exception of 2 people out on the boundary who are long on at mid-wicket. Most of the other fielders are pretty close. I wouldn't be surprised if they're a fair bit in from the ring. So those balls will be travelling a bit. It is like fielding on a bowling green here, so there's very few blemishes in the outfield as he's worked to deep mid-wicket to Nick Theodosiadis, who throws it in straight back to the keeper, to the bowler, which is very good. But yeah, so it's a very good fielding outfield. If you won't field on many better outfields than this, so I feel like it could even be just the jitters of the grand final, because a lot of these misfields are pretty conventional, as you see another one run over.
That's a great first over from the young fella, only 2 off that one. Well bowled.
CJ Smith just adding to the Butchers' pressure here, but Jacob, it's good to know that they've got their skipper in Sismy and Tobin there, the experienced campaigners.
Yeah, it is, and it'd be interesting to know what they're saying to each other there. They could, who knows, they could just be having a chat about after the game or what they're doing this week. But you like to think they're making some plans for the next 7 overs of how they're going to construct a decent total here, a defendable total.
Oh, they could have been having a chat about Michael Clark wanting to come out of retirement. He's going to play a bit of grade cricket in Sydney, and who knows, he might train over the winter and have another crack at the Blues and potentially international honours. I'm a bit shocked by that, boys. What do you think, Jacob?
I think it's great news. I'm a massive Clarkey fan. The more that he plays, the better for mine, I think. Isn't that exciting too? If you're playing out at Western Suburbs, is that where he plays in Sydney? Yes. Yeah. How exciting is that if you're playing for Western Suburbs and you hear that Clarkey's going to come and have a run?
You couldn't ask for much better than that if you're a young up-and-comer in Western Suburbs cricket, to see what most would probably grow up watching an idolise as a cricketer. It would be very, very good to see as he's beaten, trying to pull one that appeared to be on off stump. But yeah, it's fantastic. You just hope it's not one of those John Farnham comebacks that they're never quite as good as the first time, and you really want it to be good, because you know that a while back there were some things that really changed you as a human. It sculpted you as a young adult, but you don't want to see him come back and really flounder, because it's one of those things. There's not much grace in a non-successful comeback, which is a bit unfortunate.
I just think he's got nothing else to prove in the game of cricket. I think if his idea is to come back and play Sydney grade cricket as something to help out the club that helped him achieve what he has done, that's great. But the idea of potentially wanting to play state cricket again and maybe international, I think his ship has sailed right out of Port Kembla Harbour. He's had too many injuries. Yeah. The Cricket Australia's got this mentality now of, you're 34, 35, you're too old, which I don't agree with. But what he's got nothing else to prove. I think it may be more damaging to him than positive, but if he just sticks with grade cricket, that'd be a wonderful thing to do for that club.
Yeah, absolutely. It could well be like we were saying when we're talking about Doug Murphy earlier. Clark, he might just love cricket. He could just be so in love with the game. Yeah, he just wants to keep doing it. And it's like when they talked to Roger Federer about retiring, because he's not number one anymore, and Fed just says, I just love tennis. I just play because I love it. So,
which is great. But if Clark was going to try and return for the Blues,
Doug Murphy pursues one here
in the domestic arena,
digs into the grass there a little bit. But again, 51 years old and running like that is very good. This could be Michael Clark in a few years' time.
Clarkey should have kept playing for New South Wales when he retired from the Test team. That's what he should have done.
Yeah.
Like Steve Waugh did and Mark Waugh did. Those guys gave back to Cricket New South Wales, and whilst he had a lot on his plate, he was copping a lot of heat after the Ashes. I just don't know. And there is a well-taken catch, and Graham Sismy, the skipper of Thirroul, departs, makes the long walk back to the pavilion.
Second wicket for Stark as well. He's been bowling very tight lines. It's good to see him get a bit of paying dividends there.
Yeah, the dangerous scissors just needed to be one or the other there, didn't he?
Yeah, that was caught very well by Troy Gasling, whose lower back pain didn't affect him there. He's moved very well and low to his left on that one, who's a natural left-hander, but still got down well, gloved it very cleanly. On the Johnson replay you saw, he's very happy with himself, Troy Gasling. He is arguably Keira's favourite Troy, which is good for most involved in the club. People really enjoy him, but there's some die-hard Troys in the Keira Cricket Club who consider themselves the favourite. But yeah, he's done very well there, and it's good to see him moving freely. Nothing worse than a bit of discomfort, which kind of brings you back to the Michael Clark thing. He doesn't move as well as he would have when he was younger, and his hamstrings and back, and you don't want to see it ruin him, because I say the same thing to my dad, who wants to play 80 different competitive sports at the age of 54. What are you going to do in your retirement? No one's going to sit around you while you complain about how many parts of you hurt. Save a bit of yourself for a bit later in your life. You're still very young. You don't want to be wrecked with back pain and hamstring pain as he's
down the ground.
Cleared the front leg over mid-off. This could run away for 4.
I reckon it'll stop. And it has.
Good call, Troy.
If it was over this side, Troy, I would have backed you. But that far side, I've been burnt earlier in this Cricket Illawarra second grade final. So we've got Tobin out there in the light blue helmet, and young Jono Keys. What is he?
14 years old, I believe.
He is just a wee lad.
Now. Yeah, intimidating stature, young Jono. Can play the game.
Quick single there. Tobin has to hustle, but safely makes it. Keys just...
I'm not going to talk him up at all, because I did that to Pat earlier, and that's when he missed a few in a row. So we'll see how he goes here, Jono. I've had the pleasure
to see a young cricketer out there. I think it's fantastic. I remember back when I was a young kid, and I just got thrown straight into second grade. Everyone was very accommodating. You hope that and I imagine you would. Northern Districts are a very, very good team in terms of the social aspect of the club. You'd just hope that everyone gets around him and supports him regardless of how he goes today.
Yeah, I'm sure they will, the boys.
I don't doubt that for a second. It's just good to see young talent out there.
It's great.
Smith to Keys.
Yeah, CJ Smith, I think he's only about 15 or 16 too, which is very good to see. He's wise beyond his years, which is good. Very good to see.
So, CJ Smith, like, let's say Keira gets up this afternoon, or even for young John O'Keys, and you head back to your respective parties. Do they sit in the kids' room?
Oh yeah,
Does
just
that work?
put him in the ball pit. I think he's
With a creaming soda.
He's done the Cardinal Sinners spin bowler
Plate of
though.
hot chips.
He's kicked the stumps with his back leg, and it has resulted in a free hit no ball. So this is a good way to get
I tell you what.
young Keys into the game.
Is
What's
that
he going to go for you?
I don't imagine it would, but for CJ Smith, who has very little proprioception or knowledge of where his limbs are, it could happen way more frequently than you would imagine.
He just started thinking about that creaming soda.
I used to think about how good those fire engines are going to go down later.
Looking
Scoop
forward
of
to
ice
it.
cream in there. Get the spider
Make
happening.
it a spider.
Yeah, treat yourself. Treat
That's
yourself.
a
You
real
only play a grand
celebration.
final every now and then, so you can treat yourself with the spider at the club afterwards.
Here's a bag of snakes.
I might even give him $2 for the chocolate machine if he goes well today. You win
Oh.
yourself your pay, sir.
I tell you what, I was with the kids the other day, and you know the claw things at the arcades. We just cannot.
mate.
My eldest just gets denied all the time.
Mate, they're rigged.
No joy. Yeah,
You don't put
they're
money in
tough.
them, do you?
Oh, Keys, skies it, but it'll be safe.
Yeah, the crowd's
Turning for two here.
the crowd's
Pick up
gone
two.
wild. The crowd's gone wild for that too. It's a nice shot.
I might be biased, but I personally have won 2 very large plush Star Wars
No
things on the claws in a row.
Wow, and that's just the deeper
You're the
insight
one.
into Troy Coleman from the Keira Cricket Club. That's what he gets up to in his spare time.
Yeah, it's fantastic. I was at work. We took the kids to the movies, and I found $2 on the ground. You're like, you know what? I'm going to impress the kids, and scooped up myself a nice little plush R2D2, and they were very impressed. I'm pretty sure I saw a woman call up and mortgage her house to try and get one of those Wookiees in there, but she was very unfortunate. Or maybe I was very skillful. We can't be sure.
Also revealed you're a big John Farnham fan earlier as well. We've
Hey.
learned a lot today.
You know what, Farnsey, Wave FM, we did a promotion in the back end of last year, and we took a busload of listeners up to see Farnsey, Ross Wilson and Daryl Braithwaite at the old Sydney Entertainment Centre, and boy, all 3 of them have still got it. John Farnham, exceptional. The voice.
Oh, try and understand it. It is
Can't
good
see.
It's good seeing those old people still. Sorry, old people. Look at me showing my age. I'm
Troy,
sorry.
just to dig you out of the hole, mate, we saw a little bit of a chain reaction earlier when Thurul lost 2 quick wickets in the space of a couple of balls.
Thanks for that.
Farnham's a legend, ARIA Hall of Famer.
The word
He
geriatrics
is.
thrown around very easily these days, but I don't think he brandishes that title. He's young at heart, bless him.
Well, Billy Birmingham does a wonderful John Farnham impersonation.
And we got Harry Fisher back on. This is his 4th over that they saved very sparingly.
We'll see how tight he can be, because he was a little bit loose in his 2nd and 3rd over. He conceded a few runs.
Exactly right.
Northern District 6 for 66 after 15.
Oh,
And he
down
started
the
with a leg
side
side
and-
wides, which is not conducive to the greatest last over, but we'll see. We'll see if we can tighten it up from here. They've got a lot of bowling options, Keira, today, which is good. I even saw the old head of Doug Murphy bowling the final over of a 2020 match the other day, where it went down to the last over, and I think he only went for 4 when they needed 9. So he's got it all, this
Quality.
Keira club. Yeah, I think they'll try and get a few more overs out of their spinners. They've got some good spin options there. The crafty Jack Dobinson, affectionately known as the Mollusk because of how fast he moves. It's a run out on the bowler's end here. Direct hit would have been out, but it is sailed safely wide.
The young fella, John O'Keys, safely home. And you mentioned Dobbo there. He sat alongside me last year on grand final day. Loves his cricket.
Oh, he certainly does. And what he wouldn't give for a bit more talent too, which is a bit unfortunate. He does have a very, very well mixed up variety of long hops and full tosses. And well, that's all spinners need to do. You put a few revs on the ball, you bowl them full, you bowl them short. They make the batsman do the work. No one likes chest-high full tosses. But no, all jokes aside, he's a very, very gifted bowler who, on his day, can...
Dug it out.
Oh, that fielder again. Stacey, is that Stacey again in cover?
Oh, no, that's Nick Theodosiadis in the wide brim hat. But, he's a very good fielder. Nick Stacey, a frustrated keeper. A few keepers out there, actually. James Stacey, obviously. Nick Theodosiadis is quite a good gloveman as well. Pretty much all the Theodosiadis is a gloveman.
Is Dobbo a frustrated keeper too?
Dobbo's a frustrated all aspects of cricketer.
You've got
dug out. Very good Yorker there by Harry Fisher, which is good.
Young John O'Keys is a keeper as well. in junior cricket, so there's another one. As I said earlier, great day for wicketkeepers today, isn't it?
It is, and Jacob, you played first grade for Thurul behind the stumps, and just recapping our third grade result from earlier, West Illawarra won by 35 runs. Corrimal were chasing 114 for victory, bowled out for the late 70s, and it was Brian Lattin, man of the match, 3 stumpings, 3 catches, and already this afternoon we've seen Stacey involved in pretty much everything, Jacob.
Yeah, that's right. Brian Lattin from West might be putting his hand up for a promotion to 2s, I think, along with a couple of those other West boys possibly.
I wouldn't hate scoring a few runs though, Brian. I feel like you can be the best keeper in the world, but you've got to hold up a bit of a batting position as well, which I'm sure, Jake, you do yourself, which is good. You're a very big endorsement for, run out on, he's giving it the old Cristiano Ronaldo.
Yeah. I was going to say Cahill, but we'll run with Ronaldo.
Oh, he's got a bit more flowing locks and a bit more female engagement than Tim Cahill, I feel. But yeah, it was a good fancy bit of footwork there. Unfortunately, just didn't come off. I feel like he should just stick to cricket.
Fisher's final over here.
Been infinitely better than his first couple. He didn't bowl terribly, but he's leaking a few runs, but he's bowled quite well here, which is exactly what they need in the death overs.
Yeah, he bowled 3 straight early.
Yeah, I think Paddy Tobin's going to go for it here, isn't he? Oh, slow ball.
You've picked it, Jacob. But it'll check. Fielder there.
Yeah, fielder Nick Stacey, the 12th man. He is a freak in the best way possible. He is a very, very talented cricketer, and a bit unfortunate probably not to make this side, but one of the best sportsmen you'll see. Him on the field, he can do anything.
Yeah, 4 overs to go. I think Jono, although we said he's only 14, I think he's good enough to play out, work the ball around for these last 4 overs, and the lads can have a bit of a go from the other end, starting with Paddy here in the lovely sky blue helmet.
And this is a frightening prospect. If I was a young 14-year-old batsman, I would not want to see the wild thing Link Bendel-Moon come in and bowling down his thunderbolts. I hope he's got a bit more composure than me, but I would be wearing my brown undies if I was his age and his height. I am genuinely frightened with what Link dishes up, so let's hope for the crowd's sake we see a few balls bowled to the man on strike now.
Well, he's got 2 overs to go. We've got a handful of overs left. Northern District 6 for 73, and Bendel-Moon gets hooked by Tobin, and that'll run, we would hope, all the way to the fence. But it won't.
Need a seagull to kick it.
Good run for here, though.
Couple of metres short. Keys was keen. Tobin gets sent back, and lucky the young bloke said, look, Pat, just settle down there. We'll just put the brakes on.
When Paddy hit it, he had a bit of a look, didn't he? He liked the shot.
It just gives you an indication. If you're streaming us live on Bar Sports TV, our Johnson Legal broadcast this afternoon from North Dalton Park, the outfield is incredibly slow.
It is, compared to what it normally is. It is very much like a bowling green of the best most of the year, but that one, every day of the week, that would have gone, except for probably today. But yeah, a few commentator blunders today. We've been calling 4s all day, and I think we've only seen one where Toby Felvis chased despairingly to the boundary and saw it trickle in just before he got there. But it makes a bit of a game. It's value for money in the sense that if you can work the ball into gaps, you can get some runs. But the lofted balls seem to be plugging out there, which is not conducive to boundaries or high run scoring games. So I feel like if Northern Districts can graft their way up to around 100 here, that would be a very, very defendable target.
Yeah, the Keira boys should be taking notes too, shouldn't they? 1s and 2s are the go today.
Yes, exactly right. They should be learning that these boundaries probably aren't the option today. I feel like if you need to get your runs, then you should find the gaps, work a few. If it means lofting it over the infield, then so be it. But I feel like that's as big a risk as you should take today, because clearing the boundary is a daunting prospect on a slow outfield.
Well, Jacob, Tobin did not miss that hook shot. He got enough bat on it.
No, as I said, he nailed it, and he stood there and gave. I think that's why they only got 2 for it, because he hit it and he thought that's 4 off the bat. And usually the batsman's the best person that can judge that, aren't they?
And with the pace of Link Bendel-Moon coming onto the bat, he must have thought that it was a big chance of just watching it trickle into the picket fence surrounding the picturesque North Dalton.
And it is a picture this afternoon. We have got the chance of a shower, possibly a storm a little later, but they're saying that storm will hit the southern end of the Illawarra. And look, we can see some dark clouds over the Dapto area now, but we might actually have a look at the weather zone radar.
Yeah, it is never sunny in Dapto, though, is it? So
very good afternoon to all of our viewers in Dapto.
Yeah. Unfortunately, not fielding any sides in the 2020 finals today, which is for a proud sporting club like Dapto. It would probably be a bit disappointing, but they're in good stead in the first grade comp, so maybe the eggs are in that basket.
It's such a nice day that your man James Perry's retreated to the sub fielder to get a bit of shade. I think that might be the same reason Rob Murphy threw his wicket away earlier.
The word cardio is not regularly associated with James Perry, so maybe he is just struggling a little bit out there. He's an interesting gentleman, but I feel like his body is not as sculpted as it once was. Look, which is unfortunate.
There's a little bit of moisture over Wollongong at the moment, but absolutely nothing. But there is a storm out over Keira, which we'll keep an eye on as the afternoon progresses.
What a great place. You ever been to Keira?
You know what? I've never been to Keira, but I've been to Parks, and I reckon this storm has just come through Parks, and it's heading in that direction down
God's
to us
country,
here in the Illawarra.
Fantastic place,
Keira, Jacob?
Yeah, we went on a little cricket trip out to Keira. We had a great time.
What age group?
Gee, 16s, I think. 16s, 17s.
And how'd you go?
I think we won that one. I think that's why I like Keira. It's probably the only cricket tour we went on where we won.
Nah, it's lovely out there. Hopefully the bad weather that it's plaguing Keira at the moment doesn't come here, because it is a beautiful day and a great day for cricket.
Just 5 runs off that last over. Northern District 6 for 78 after 17 overs.
Yeah, this is a big one, isn't it? Is this Stark bowling?
This could very well be CJ Smith swung around to bowl into the wind. Maybe add to a bit of flight here.
Well, Stark had a lot of success on this end. It's too high over the fielder, and they'll come back for second because
look at John O'Keefe go there, in and out. That was great running.
Well, he was running to the danger end, and he picked it because, no disrespect to Pat Tobin, but Keys has got a little bit more toe.
Yeah, he is quick. Paddy, I'll tell you what, Paddy's a lot quicker than he was, and he's surprisingly quick between the wickets.
He's got a lot of power.
Jono was a little with
Unfortunately, it looked like he was running up a hill there, but I feel like that just could be the slope of the land. As CJ Smith comes in, bowling his second ball of the over. Well flighted. And dropped by Doug Murphy.
Wow.
Moved well to his right.
He'll be kicking himself over that. That was a big opportunity for the Lions.
Looked like he might have taken that a bit too easily, did he?
Yeah, it looked like it might have been in there, but I feel like the old bones just rattled that one out, unfortunately.
Well, you can see there's some absolute intent here from Pat Tobin. Now, he wants to connect, and he's trying desperately.
Yeah, have a look at this offside. I think if he can skip down and get to it on the full, put one through cover, he might find the second boundary of the day.
But CJ Smith is consisting with his flight, which is good to see. It's very, very brave bowling. He's flighted another one up there and beaten him with flight. He's bowling very, very well. For a young bloke, this is great to see. Really enjoy a spinner taking it to someone who's obviously trying to attack him very, very aggressively.
See how frustrated the batsman's getting too. Good battle.
Earlier this afternoon, we saw this could be out. No, it's just cleared the fieldsman, and Tobin will come back for 2 again. A replica Keys calls him through and says, I'm heading to the danger end, and we'll scamper through for that second single. Earlier today, Northern Districts got up in their first of 3 finals appearances. They won 4th grade in an absolute nail-biter. West Illawarra, way too good for Corrimal in 3rd grade. Now, for this match, boys, Keira won the toss, elected to bowl. Jacob, you're from the Thurul club. How do you think Thurul would be feeling about the fact that they're 6 for 82 with a few overs to go?
Yeah, well, a lot of their experience in the side is in the bowling department. We talked about Bond earlier. We've talked about Sismy. Those kind of guys. Davo, the wily Davo, has taken an absolute bag of wickets this tournament. We've got the stats up here. Ryan Davo's taken 8 wickets. Sis has taken 10. Oh, Mark Cotton, the opening batsman, bowling his left arm tweak, has taken 12 wickets in the 2020 tournament. So they're blokes, they do back themselves to defend totals.
We've got the Johnson legal replay of this catch. As you see, it looks like it's in there, and then it just stumbles out when he hits the ground with his right foot.
He only had one hand on it. It went into his right hand.
He did move well.
Bendel Moon to Keys.
His left was not in the right spot, but it was quick.
Oh, that's class.
No, his left was in the left spot. You're correct in saying
that. You get what I mean.
I certainly do.
Jeez, I'd hate to be out on the field with you with a mouth like that. The sledging would be next level, wouldn't it?
I have very few friends.
No wonder with that moustache you've got growing at the moment.
Look good, sound good.
Hope you're enjoying our Johnson Legal powered Bar TV Sports coverage of Cricket Illawarra T20 Grand Final Day. We've got Keira chasing their 3rd second grade title in a row against the Northern Districts Butchers. These two have battled so many times at this level, and Tobin, direct hit, he would have been gone for all money, but it's just wide. And they need the runs. He's got to take those risks.
You can take those risks in the second last over.
Is the overarm throw from that close the option there? I feel like he could have nearly steadied himself and underarmed it at the stumps there, but you're not
Where's
out
Jonty
there.
Rhodes? Where's Jonty Rhodes?
Why didn't he just dive through the
Jonty.
stumps? It seems like the percentage play there. I'm a bit unfortunate. I might give him a bit of a word
Underrated
later.
play that from Jonty.
We'll bring him mirrors at a club and he can have a good long word to
We
himself
talked about
later.
this earlier, Bendel Moon to Keys, didn't we? Let's see how it goes.
Oh, and he's dug one in. I think he may have hit him there.
Quick single, Tobin.
another
This will
chance.
be run out.
Oh, Jonty!
He has missed from
No,
what
he's
can
got
only
it.
be...
Oh,
he's
he's
hit
got
it.
it. He's
I'm
hit
sorry.
it. He's hit it. We'll get a Johnson legal replay up real quick on that one. But Stacey, it was a direct throw, I think. I don't think he actually had the ball in his hand.
I would love to see the Johnson
And
League
took off the
replay on this one
bails.
because I completely misjudged that. I thought he'd missed it from what could only be assumed as on the varnish of the stumps. And the Johnson League replay shows Link Bendel Moon steaming in. Wouldn't mind seeing where this... Oh, may have missed the bat there.
Now,
James Stacey collects. Stumbles.
did he keep it in his hand? No, he's taken the glove off. And there we
he's-
go.
Yes, he's thrown
Jeez,
into a
he's done
single
well.
scrub. He does done
Silky skills from James Stacey.
What a
Yeah,
great
very-
day for wicketkeepers today.
Exactly right. A very handy AFL player as well, and he's showing his athleticism there.
That was very, very quick.
It was and to take his glove off mid-stride, mid-stumble, very impressive human. Brother of James Stacey, Nick Stacey, also a very freakish fielder, so it must be something in the Stacey household. Their mum must be very strict when it comes to picking up your clothes quickly and promptly because they've snaffled the balls all day, didn't look like dropping one, so it's very good to see.
New batsman at the crease is Ryan Rhino Davo Dilsey Dingers Davidson. We'll see what he can do here. Oh,
He
that's
gets
handy.
bat on ball straight up and off the mark straight away against Bendel Moon.
Whose fathers will be very proud of him today.
The hyphen.
The missing link. He an ex-cage fighter too. If he has a disagreement with you, he will very calmly say, "Would you like to wrestle?" To most people, calmly, or maybe not so calmly, say no. He asked me yesterday if I would like to wrestle with him because I had a disagreement with how well he was bowling, and I backed out. Seems fair.
So you told him he was bowling exceptionally well.
He is bowling exceptionally well today, so I don't think the wrestle will be on the cards today. He's steamed in. He's
hang
beaten
on.
Young Keys outside.
Dobbo just featured on our Bar TV sports coverage there with the
Exceptional.
ball being thrown back. He'll enjoy that when he watches back this replay. You're looking good there, Dobbo. Looking real good.
You might replay that in slow motion, I think.
He hasn't done much. He hasn't done much this afternoon. He hasn't
he's
really
been
been
quiet.
required. No one's
We
really
might-
picked him out.
Maybe we'll see him with the bat later on.
I hope so. You're looking good, Dobbo.
Yes, he's got an exceptional thin pair of wraparound sunglasses on too.
He's clapping well, but just
I-
keeping the boys G'd up. He was brilliant in commentary last year.
I don't doubt that for a second. The stuff that comes out of his mouth, just pure, absolute purity. But
Have a
Give
look at
him
him
a
here.
run, Troy.
Do you think he's having a chirp on the way past the batsman here?
100%.
doesn't mind a word. I don't know if you've heard the old adage, the empty vessels make the most noise, but Jack Dobinson is a loud man. So make of that what you will. But yeah, I called the mollusk Jack Dobinson, or the lab, because of his patchy, thick, blonde mane as he's striding out to the ring. And the mollusk because he is quite slow at all aspects of life, unfortunately.
Is this the last over of the innings?
Last
be.
over, CJ Smith.
Oh, and Stacey tried an
Oh.
attempted stumping but couldn't keep control of the pill.
Yeah, you got to catch it first, don't you?
And
That's
they've
all
called
right.
for the replay.
Davo thinks he's out. Stay there, Davo.
Yeah, I think he thinks he's been bowled there. I don't know if his back foot left the crease there. He might have thought with the quick glove work of James Stacey that he'd been bowled, but he gets a life, and hopefully he can make the most of it here. There's a bit of space out the backward square, so if CJ over pitches, he could be swept out. I'm not sure whether the sweep shot is in his repertoire, but it seems like the option there. There's a few gaps.
I think it's safe to say we're not going to see Thurul score 15 runs with this over.
No, I think they should just be trying to get bat on every ball and running hard. Davo's got to come back here.
Oh, it could be on
Long
the keeper's
distance
end.
run
here.
at Davo. Oh, no, he hasn't.
Great
Great
pick
throw.
up and throw by Nick Stacey there, and a bit of
Yeah,
MS Dhoni
good
glove
call.
work with the shins there.
Great throw. That was lightning.
Oh,
I thought the second might have been on there because of this, last over.
Oh, he's got an
Ended up
absolute
being a
cannon
good
on him, Nick
decision though,
Stacey.
didn't it? What do we got? 4 balls to go. Field comes up. I think Jono's might try and go for it here. We'll see how much power he's got in those young arms of him.
Where's his vent shot? Where does he go for his runs?
I reckon through covers.
He's opened up his stance.
Should have
He's
been
holed
through
out.
covers.
He's paddled one around the Link Bendel Moon at 45 round the corner.
And that's CJ Smith.
CJ Smith again, bowling
Bowling.
very well, and a pretty enterprising innings from Keys comes to an end.
And that was Bendel Moon taking the catch.
very was. Who would have thought? Who would have thought it?
I just wanted to get that hyphen on the scorecard.
Yeah, exactly right.
Again.
He's got Teflon for hands. Nothing really sticks, but I think he's got one in between the wrists today.
Look, you can't take anything away from John O'Keefe. He's a young man. He's a teenager. There's not much to him.
Oh.
He's going to be a hell of a lot better for this run down
What
the
a
track.
what a
Big
difficult
future.
situation to bat in.
Yep.
Wickets falling around you late in the 2020 in a final, mind you, against a team like Keira, who are a quality outfit.
And he had the right idea.
Yeah, absolutely. That goes,
He had to go for it.
1 or 2 metres either side, and he'll get a few runs for that.
Absolutely had to go for it. So a handful of deliveries left here in the Northern Districts Butchers, 8 for 86.
Yeah, Stevie Bond strutting out to the crease with his beast there, Kookaburra beast.
I believe that bat was outlawed in grade cricket and international cricket because of the unfair advantage it gives to the higher decorated batsman. But I feel like Bonnie, that shouldn't be a problem.
No, very, very true, Troy, and it has been mentioned, but he's very quick to jump on that Bond. He has not been banned in grade cricket, only in international cricket.
Well, there you go.
First-class cricket.
I stand corrected.
So if he gets promoted to New South Wales soon, he'll have to get a new
Seems
bat.
like it's on the card as he noodles one.
Look at that.
Yeah.
Noodles one for a
He's
single.
looking for 2.
I think Bonnie's forgotten.
Gee, he looks
a
good
lot of
today,
batting
Bondy.
trouble. He's looking lean.
I can't wait to see him with the new ball later on.
Well, and they're going to have to bowl well, the Butchers. They're going to have to bowl exceptionally well because
Absolutely.
they're only going to be defending 90-odd.
Yeah.
And Bonnie's the man to do it. He has got a lot of wickets in him. He's a very, very crafty bowler. And I think all those skills will be,
that'll do.
And that's
as he
over
sky
the
one
infield, and they should pick up 2 here. They've got to come back for 2.
Yeah, they're all handy runs at this stage because if it does get down to the wire.
Where's the backing up?
Oh. What's that make us? 89? 8 for
89.
89 with 1 ball to go maybe. Tell you what, this bloke's bowled so well today, Smith. I've been impressed.
Well, both spinners, Stark and Smith, exceptional, and Stacey with some super glove work. They've been the real features of this Keira Lions
Yeah, they have
attack.
As we mentioned earlier, spin was always going to play a large role today. I feel like taking the pace off the ball is a very viable option in this format, and that brings the innings to an end.
8 for 89.
Keira will be chasing 90 when they start their batting innings.
So we'll just have a bit of a look back at what has unfolded here in this first half of this second grade Cricket Illawarra T20 Grand Final at North Dalton Park, powered by Johnson Legal. Earlier in the day, it was the Keira Lions who won the toss and sent the rule in, and on that performance of 8 for 89, Troy, probably the right call.
Yeah, Keira's always prided themselves on being a good bowling unit, and I feel like the cohesion and harmony between the team has really worked well today. They've restricted Northern District to 89, and I feel like that is well within what they would consider a chaseable target.
Now, Mark Cottam probably didn't do what he's done at the top of the order for the Butchers this afternoon. It was tough going early on, but who was your standout of the batsmen, Jacob?
Yeah, even though maybe they didn't score the runs, I thought the young blokes were good. They were all calm under pressure, weren't they? Paddy Reese at the top looked good, even though he got a bit unlucky, and John O'Keefe at the end, as we said, he just looked comfortable at the crease, even though he didn't quite get as many runs as you would expect.
A few more wheat bix and he could be a very promising player. He just needs a bit more size to him, but he did bat very well. He looks like a very talented cricketer, and I look forward to seeing him in the future.
There was a bit of a period there for Thurul. They were 3 for 48 after 10, and then they lost a couple of quick wickets. Stark got a wicket, and then Pryor was run out in crazy circumstances, really, and straight away they found themselves 5 for 55 after 12, and I think that was the moment where you thought they're going to struggle to score 100 runs.
Yeah, absolutely, and no doubt they'll be frustrated with their batting performance, but the thing is, it's finals cricket, isn't it, and stranger things have happened. Runs on the board in a final are always hard to chase, and
Exactly
they might just back themselves to defend these. We'll see how it goes.
Well, Jacob Hand, thank you very much for joining us in commentary for the first innings here. You're going to be replaced by Nathan Alterator for the second half, so enjoy the rest of your afternoon.
Yeah, thanks, mate. It's been a pleasure.
And Troy Coleman, first grader from the Keira Cricket Club, will be back alongside myself, Travis Winks, for the run chase here at North Dalton Park. Keira will be chasing 90 runs for victory against the Thurul Butchers, who finished their allotted 20 overs at 8 for 89. On behalf of Johnson Legal on Bar TV Sports, we'll be back here at North Dalton Park in a few moments. Welcome back to North Dalton Park. Travis Winks in commentary alongside Nathan Alterator from the Thirroul Butchers Cricket Club and Mark Johnson from the Keira Cricket Club. Mate, hello and welcome. You're making a quick cameo appearance.
Yeah, hi. Well, Troy's finishing his sandwich over there, so I thought Travis gives me a chance to get in.
Absolutely. And Nathan, you're offside. Jacob saw us through the first innings here, of course. Keira won the toss earlier, sent Thirroul in, 8 for 89. Will it be enough?
You'd like to think so, being a Butchers supporter. The Keira boys bowled really, really well. Fielded well, mostly. A few misfields there, but I think it's going to be a pretty tight clash.
Yep, well, chasing 90 runs. And Mark, we've got to thank you too. Johnson Legal powering our broadcast here on Bar TV Sports this afternoon. So thanks again for getting behind this live stream.
Yeah, well, thanks, Travis, and glad to be part of it. And the T20 finals day has become a big day on the Illawarra cricket calendar. And as you can see, a good crowd today. And the weather's held up nicely for us.
Weather's held up beautifully. And all of a sudden, Davidson concedes a couple of runs there. From the old boy, Doug Murphy, just gets a couple of runs on there. Now, mate, Keira, I mean, it's your club, but this second grade team, geez, they've been wonderful in this format over the last few seasons.
Oh, they have. I think since we've had the lower grades playing T20, they've made the final each year, and I think they've won each of their finals, and a couple against the Butchers. I think this is the third year in a row they've played each other. I think the Keira Lions are well placed here. Doug's the danger man. You talk about him as the old man of... well, he plays first grade in the two-day competition. He can hit a ball a long way, so if he gets going, you'll see the run rate pick up quite quickly.
That's right. Could easily have been a wicket there, first ball as well, just through the slips caught in there.
So, Nathan, how do the Butchers approach this now, considering they're only defending 90 runs?
Well, I think the key is taking quick wickets. If we can get this Murphy character out, I think we're a big chance. So, yeah, quick wickets is really important.
And of course, Thirroul chasing their second title on this Cricket Illawarra Grand Final day. Their fourth victorious earlier today in an absolute thriller.
That's right. Well done to the gold members. From what I know, it was a last ball victory. So well done to them. And like Jacob said, they'll be partying on until about 8 p.m. tonight.
Well, you do know a fascinating statistic. Dr. Karl Krushelnitsky's told us on the Wave FM breakfast show a number of times that... for every 200 mils of beer you drink, you will actually urinate 300 mils. So a 6-pack becomes a 10-pack. So they could be in for a sleepless night.
Wow, definitely. Not much work going on tomorrow.
There's a lot of experienced bladders, though, I think, in that lineup, though, Nathan. Is that fair to say?
Yeah, that's right. Left-hander here for Keira will cause a few...
That's Troy Gasling.
Yeah. Gasling, yep, will cause a few heartaches for the captain. Setting fields quickly.
Yeah, a bit of the old switcheroony, so it'll keep the Butchers on their toes. But I do like their enthusiasm in the field. I mean, you have to be enthusiastic when you're only defending 90.
That's right, and the boys need to be charging in for every ball there, making sure they're backing up the stumps. Really important. Every run's important here.
Now, Mark, Keira's road to this final was a narrow victory over West. They won by 7 runs, defending 115. So, looking at that previously, if they can keep their wickets, they shouldn't have a problem getting 90.
I tend to think for Keira to lose, they have to be bowled out. I think it's very hard for the Butchers to defend 90 if they can't, dismiss the opposition. So, I think in second grade, 110 plus is usually about the benchmark score. Today, the outfield's a bit slow, but I suspect the Butchers would consider them 20 runs under par.
I think so. The key wicket for the Keira boys was Graham Sismy. Getting him cheap there probably saved them that 20 or 30 runs that you mentioned.
Yeah, well, he went for 4. Just running through the Butchers card, Mark Cottam went for 13. Pat Rees, the young teenager, 14. Robert Murphy, 8. Logan Clemens, 2. Stu Pryor, 12. Graham Sismy, 4. Pat Tobin, 7. John O'Keefe, the other young bloke, 6. And then Davidson was unbeaten on 4 and Bond, 1. Now, for the bowling for Keira, Mark, you just got to highlight Peary, 3 for 23.
Well, yeah, the Red Rocket, the talisman, the Keira stalwart of second grade. I mean, he's been in so many second grade finals. I don't think you get him on both hands. He's winning rate. He tells me he's well known to say, Keira, just pick me and I'll take you to the promised land. And says if we ever did that, we'd win first grade every year. He's something of a mascot when he plays first grade because he doesn't really contribute a lot other than his presence. But his presence for a redhead that can't bowl that fast, can't really bat, is okay in the field. He just brings that extra X factor.
It goes all right. And then Stark 2 for 10, and CJ Smith was very impressive, 1 for 17.
Yeah, so is his name. I don't know if you discussed this in the first innings.
Bond.
When does a man get to call himself by his initials? A.B. de Villiers, M.S. Dhoni, J.P. Duminy.
CJ
When
Smith.
do you decide you can be known by your initials?
Well, when you bowl the way he did this afternoon, I think he's well within his rights.
But have you thought of being known by your initials?
Never. If I was known by, well, I don't have a middle name, but I'd be Twinks.
Twinks.
So I think I'm chasing rainbows, Mark.
Chocolate bar.
Twinkie. I've had a few of them when I used to have a bit more cushion for pushing.
Yeah, so Keira might have a great bowler in Peary. The Northern Districts boys have Stephen Bond, also the talisman. He likes to take wickets. Not many people know how he takes so many wickets, but over the years he's taken thousands. And let's hope he gets a couple more today.
Well, he's got the newish ball in hand, and he'll concede a single here as Murphy and Gasling scamper through for a quick single, which is something that I think Thurul didn't do early on. They didn't take enough quick singles. It took them a few overs to find a bit of a groove.
That's right. It took them a long while to warm up. Once they did get in that groove, they were taking quick singles, and the Butchers did look on top for a while there. Keira boys should really have been taking note. Singles and twos are going to be the key to victory today.
Well, that's right. They don't really need to take risks. If they can turn over 4 or 5 and over with, as you say, some just good placement and good running between wickets, they'll do this comfortably. You're right what you say, Nathan, about Bondi. He is the Peary of Northern Districts. He's one of those innocuous-looking medium pacers, but he's got a very good...
Oh, and he's bowled in well. There you go. You're just talking him up, and Stephen Bond gets the early breakthrough for Thurul, and all of a sudden, as Keira were just working it around for those singles after that first over number 2, and they have already picked up a wicket, and it is Doug Murphy, the veteran, making the walk back. He'll be cranky about that.
Well, he's played all around that. I think he's been bowled trying to clip that to leg, and really, I think he's played too conservatively, Doug. He usually goes for it down the ground. He's a lovely lofted drive sort of player, but he's perhaps played too defensively in that short innings.
Well, Bondi will be happy with that.
Yeah, Bondi will be very happy. He's very happy with it. Any wicket that he gets. He's a master of slight variations. Speaking to lots of blokes who've got out to him, he'll bowl the outswing, 4 or 5 in a row, and then just dart that last one in. So he gets a lot of wickets from his little in-swinger.
Well, you just saw how it unfolded there on our Johnson Legal replay, and of course our Bar TV Sports broadcast powered by Johnson Legal this afternoon. Nathan Alterator from Thurul and Mark Johnson from the Keira Cricket Club in commentary alongside Travis Winks from Wave FM. Hope you're enjoying this as we gear up for the first grade final this afternoon between Helensburgh and Thurul, and both teams just heading over to the nets to complete their warm-ups. They look reasonably relaxed, guys. Yeah,
the first grade boys are probably deceptively relaxed. It's their first final in 5 years, first chance at any silverware, so they'll be pumped for today, no doubt.
And Bondi, I've got to say a bit more about Bondi. Like, as a batsman, I've faced him over the years. He's distracting when he runs in because his run-up's not very quick, so you have a long time to look at him, and there's a little bit moving of him when he comes in, and it does distract you from actually watching the ball sometimes.
Yeah, you just got to keep your eyes on his hands and nowhere else. It can be very distracting, you're right.
And as you say, the first grade, Butchers versus Helensburgh, the two northern rivals. But as you say, Butchers been a bit starved of silverware in first grade for us, so they'll be really up for this one.
They will. Helensburgh have been one of the form sides in first grade for the last few years. It's great to see the Butchers' improvement. Seeing them up here in the grand final position for the 2020.
Hooked away excellent. By Gasling, sweeps it around the corner, and they come back for 2. Nice throw as well.
Yeah, and without wanting to talk too much about first grade while the seconds are still going, the Butchers certainly have the first grade powerhouse batsman of our T20 comp in Lachlan Dunn, who made a brilliant 88 off 40-odd balls in the semi-final to ruin Port Kembla's chances. He's a real danger man, particularly his ability to hit boundaries, sixes on a day when the outfield's a bit slow.
So, on Dunn's form, as we look forward to first grade, where the boundary markers are today, absolutely clearable?
Well, in the semi-final, he cleared the pickets here. Regardless of where the markers are, he can get the ball over the fence.
And there's some handy runs there for Gasling again, but they come back for 2. And there's a chance of a run out there. Did he even clip? He's missed it. Yeah. Air swing.
Definitely out if he takes a bail.
Yeah, just standing one step away from the stumps.
Geez, that could have been very tight.
That would have been very tight. Yeah, had those bails come off, it would have been a tough call there for Frank Ciocci at square leg.
And have you given much attention to the umpires in the first innings here? We've got 2 of the biggest character umpires of Illawarra cricket here, the Church and Steve Say.
We've given them a bit of a commendation earlier on, Mark, but mate, you give the boys a rap because you've seen a lot of them.
Well, Steve Say, he was a Balgownie player when I started playing, medium pacer, one of those annoying medium pacers, a Peary or a Bond type, not real quick, moved it a little bit, but talked a very good game.
Quick single here. Oh, wayward throw.
Very wayward and overthrow
No
come
backing
through
up
there.
either. Well, it was wide. You couldn't back that up. I'll take that back.
And, yeah, so boring medium pacer, really, Steve Say, but talked a good game. Chachi, one of the most boring lower grade batsmen for Port Kembla. When I was about 15, I once said to him I'd rather stand at the photocopier when I was probably about 17 and photocopy documents than watch him bat.
And I bet you they were legal documents, so that would have been real exciting.
Oh, yeah, they were quite voluminous documents. But Chachi...
That's a boundary, a rare boundary, because there have not been many here at North Dalton Park this afternoon. Geez, this over's had it all so far.
That's right. You know you're going to get a mixed bag when Ryan Davidson's got the ball. He's a master of variation, deceptively slow. So, yeah, you're going to have a bit of everything in one of his overs.
All of a sudden, Keira move along to 1 for 15, and you thought when Doug Murphy departed not too long ago off Bond's last over, you thought they might have been, just going to take their time and settle in, but that's not the case with Smith and Gasling at the crease.
Yeah, I think, Travis, that's right. If should have the confidence of the wickets in the shed that they can knock a fair bit of this target off early. They should do it quite comfortably.
Here's just a couple of the strokes here on our Johnson Legal replay. And this was the air swing attempted run out. It would have been very close. Like you say, Nathan, he was just one step too far back.
It was actually out if he took it.
Oh, it was gone.
Out.
Gone.
That's
it was,
right.
you know what, all the right idea, just a couple of inches too far away.
That's right, and it was a great throw in there from the outfield by the sub-fieldsman, Sandon Joubert. So that was great, but yeah, it could have been a big moment in this match.
And so CJ Smith on strike, the initials.
We love the initials, and he bowled very well earlier, 1 for 17. Tied down Thurul in the back end of their innings with his little spinners.
That's right. Great to see these young fellas stepping up. Yeah, like you said, he did bowl really, really well. So great, looking forward to seeing what he can do here with the bat.
The key here for Thurul is they're going to have to be super tight, not only with the ball, but unlike Keira, and I'm being critical because their performance was pretty darn good in the field. Those few misfields, if the rule are faultless in the field, and we've already seen a couple of little slip-ups, they need to be to have any chance of defending 90.
Exactly right. Yeah, those singles are going to be key. So the Butchers need to be really, really tight here. Yeah, Graham Sismey's going to have to make some tough decisions, some wise decisions with his bowling, with his field, and yeah, decide whether he's going to be attacking, looking for those wickets, or trying to tie down the runs.
Well, I think he's just got to keep the field up and make Keira go over the top, make Keira take chances. Otherwise, as we said earlier, singles and twos will get this done very comfortably if the Butchers don't take wickets.
That's right.
Yep, and we've already seen Doug Murphy sent back to the pavilion. He was bowled by Bond in his first over. This is Bond's second over, and Keira 1 for 18, chasing 90 for victory. Earlier today, Mark Cottam 13, Pat Rees 14, and Stu Pryor 12. They were the only Butchers to get into double digits. Peary 3 for 23, Stark 2 for 10, and CJ Smith, the man at the crease, right now in the red helmet, 1 for 17. Earlier today, we saw West Illawarra too good for Corrimal in third grade, and Thurul's fourth grade team victorious in their final in a nail biter.
That's right, down to the last ball. It's a great day today for the Butcher cricket. Fourth grade, second grade, first grade, all in finals. So we're hoping for a second one here. You know, from a Butcher's perspective, 3 would be ideal. Yeah, Keira, I'm sure have different ideas in this match.
Oh, they certainly do, and Keira's done a three-peat in a previous T20 finals day. I think the first one 3 years back got the triple. So it's not that it hasn't been done before, Nathan.
Well, they're going for 3 today.
Butchie's cranked it up this over. I think he's got the speed gun at least over 100k an hour in this over. I don't know if we've got the gun working at the moment, Travis, but
we might have to get a sponsor next summer, Mark, and get a radar here.
We also need some audio out on the field. It'll be very entertaining hearing from Steve Bond as he's running in for a bowl.
Would it be a
What, he commentates himself?
Oh, he would, yeah, definitely out on the field, you know, on those quiet days in the 90 over matches. Yeah, Stephen Bond's the one talking all afternoon, usually talking himself up.
Yeah, if we could mic up some players next year, that would give another dimension to the broadcast.
Certainly would. We might have to have the old censorship-ometer.
That's right, especially if you've got Chochi there as well. Yeah, a big shout out today too. We've got some international listeners. The Butchers have a sister club in Disley in the United Kingdom.
Yep.
I know all those boys are listening late in the night there. So a big shout out. One of their boys at the moment, Jake Reynolds, is playing in the first grade team today. So they'll all be watching first grade especially.
Streaming
Good
it.
shout, and that's a wicket.
And there is a very, very valuable wicket. CJ Smith, LBW.
Looked a bit high from square leg here. I'm not putting my Keira hat on too heavily there, but there's no referral system yet either, so he's got to go. He's just got to go.
That's right. Just got to walk. I did feel he was a bit unlucky as well.
The replay might suggest that height could have been a factor, but Say likes to get the finger up at times as an ex-bowler. I think the medium pace one, the umpires that come from the bowling background, they do like to support their fellow brethren in the medium pace.
That's right. It's becoming more and more a batsman's game, isn't it, in the 2020s? So, yeah, anything back to the bowlers, I'm sure they're happy with.
And there it is on the Johnson Legal replay. We might spin that for you again. I mean, the finger went up, so CJ Smith didn't have much of a chance to question the decision. And Sismy gets a valuable wicket in his first over.
Yeah, I'm going to say Hawkeye would have showed that going over. If again, we don't have that. Maybe next year's broadcast we'll have that with the speed gun and the mic'd up players. But CJ might have referred that if he had the chance to.
If he had the opportunity, he might have gone to the non-striker and asked him a question. I think they would have sent that one upstairs.
Well, Sismy's got a smile on his face, and the skipper, he didn't have much to smile about when Thurul were batting. 8 for 89. They've set Keira 90 for victory here, but he's come on and the captain's taken a wicket in his first over.
As is often the case, Graham Sismy is another bowler deceptive like Stephen Bond. He has lots of subtle variations as well. So that early wicket was very, very important. He would have been buoyed by that, and his confidence meter will go right up.
So Theo's at the crease now. Mark, how's his build-up been to this final?
Oh, well, Theo's enjoying a pretty good season. He's had a very consistent year with the bat in second grade and scored runs in a first grade T20 game before Christmas. So he's certainly got a bit of responsibility though now on his shoulders with 2 early wickets. And he scores quite quickly, especially in this grade. So, but the Butchers want to try and get him early.
That's right. Very important to get Nick early. Earlier in the year in a 90-over match, Nick scored 90 runs, top scorer. So the Butchers will be aware of that and hoping to get him early.
Some great history between these two sides, and Keira looking for their third straight second grade T20 premiership, and the Butchers have been runner-up in those two. So has there been much talk, Nathan, in the lead-up to this final? I mean, they've had 2 weeks to think about it, saying, you know what, this is our year and this is how we're going to do it?
That's it. I think the Butchers are up for the game. Lots of new faces here, as opposed to last season. I was playing in the 2020 Grand Final last season. I think, coming in, there's going to be that kind of mental knowledge that Keira have won a couple in a row, and that's going to be playing on their minds.
And Nathan, have the Butchers watched last year's game as often as the Keira guys have? I know, like James Peary's watched it twice a week.
Slow motion.
His wife's actually going crazy that whenever she comes in, James has got it on the TV. Especially
streaming it on the smart TV.
Yeah, he's streaming the bar TV from last year. He's slowing his run up down. He's looking at every delivery, and he's done his homework on all the Butcher batsmen. So I don't know if your boys have done that sort of research on the Keira players.
Peary would probably readily. Here's a chance
for a run out direct hit. It would have been on like Donkey Kong, but unlucky. Was that young Keys there?
That was young Keys. Yeah, usually has the gloves, but he can do things in the field as well.
Are we paying you for that sort of cliche?
That's it. You like him?
He is the key.
I'll challenge
Keep
you.
it coming.
I will challenge you to deliver more cliches, Mark. We love the cliches. I once saw this
hang on.
Skied.
There's a chance.
Now Keys gets his chance.
And
he
got
takes it. So
Dazzling.
There we go. Did just mention Keys' fielding. There we go. And he's swung around there by Stephen Bond.
And what about Sismy? 2 wickets in his first over.
That's right. The destroyer, Graham Sismy, the scissors they call him, cutting Keira in half here.
Absolutely sizzling.
Chalk another cliche into that.
All of a sudden, we have got ourselves a contest, gentlemen, because Keira are now 3 for, and we're just checking out the Johnson Legal replay here. And
again, playing across the line, trying to go through the leg side, and a simple catch by the youngster.
Yep. Wasn't he happy about it too?
Good on him, the young man. Geez, Bondi nearly fractured his back there.
Yeah, he's lucky to be standing up now. He's got some broken bones there.
I think his lungs are still trying to refill. Is this Dobbo walking out to the middle? Oh, Dobbo. Jack Dobinson. He's been promoted up the order.
And he's got some work to do here because, as you said, the Butchers. We don't have a betting partner again for this competition, but the Butchers have come in shortening after that third wicket. Dobbo, bit of pressure on the Dob, their former commentator.
Yeah, and he did a wonderful job last year, but after 4 overs, the Keira Lions now 3 for 21, and in comparison, after 5 overs, Thurul were 1 for 21, and we do know that Thurul lost a number of wickets in that middle part of their innings, but the pressure is on in pursuit of their target of 90 for victory.
That's right, Keira boys have lost a couple of quick wickets now, lost a couple of top order batsmen. It's going to be really up to Stephen Bond here. Like you said, 21 runs apiece at this point in the game. Keira down a little bit there with 3 wickets. It's a close contest here now.
And of course, the issue for the Butchers captain is, does he keep his main guys going now or save them for later? I tend to think he probably should keep them going.
He's got to, I think.
That's right. The Keira boys are strong bowling. The Butchers would probably call themselves a bowling team as well. So after these two are finished, there's definitely lots of depth and experience in the bowling ranks down the order.
Head down. He was very upbeat talking to him pre-match, Dobbo. He looked good in the field when he got to throw the ball back to the bowler. He clapped well, but now's his opportunity at 3 for 21 in the 5th over, chasing 90 for victory. Dobbo's going to have to stand and deliver.
Well, he doesn't have to stand and deliver in a very attacking sense, but
he's just got to score runs.
Play a sensible innings. And,
good stroke there,
copybook
forward all over it.
From
it was
Jack.
Textbook.
Was, and
e-book these days.
Yes, and so Jack, a bit of pressure, but if he can knock it around and get the innings going, as we've said all along, just with some sensible batting, put Keira in a good spot. But he's got the pressure of Bond. Not
he does.
James.
Yeah, well, and thankfully Bond is in his 3rd over now, so he's just got to see him off. Looks like he varied his pace there a little bit, Bond, and
that's right, and that'll be running through his mind as well. Dobinson, he'll be caught between just seeing Bond off here and also changing the strike around, looking for those singles as well.
So he's out there with Theo at the moment, and Mark, Theo and Dobbo, how has their summer been in 2-day cricket thus far?
Chalk and cheese there. Theo's had a
Cliche.
very good season. Dobbo's had a very lean season.
The old lean cuisine, eh?
Oh, it's a
playing
play
a
and
miss, drew him forward.
Yeah, so you could say Jack's due for runs.
Yeah.
If you're looking half glass full for Keira, Nick's due to fail.
We'd be happy if both did from a Butcher perspective.
Well, we've got a game of chess happening here at the moment because things are, very evenly poised because we know Thurul had a bit of a slip-up in the middle part of their innings. So, by the time we get to over number 10, I think we'll have a bit of an indication on who is slightly on top. At the moment, I still think it's evenly poised, but Keira must consolidate at the moment. We've just wrapped up our 5th.
That's right, and a very strong tight over there from Stephen Bond. It'll be interesting to see if he comes on for his 4th over.
And looks like Troy's finished his sandwich over here, Travis, so I'm going to let him get back in the chair and try and get Keira home. And thanks for having me.
No dramas. We'll let you go back and enjoy some of the tasty delights and cold, refreshing treats in the bar here. Mark Johnson there, big supporter of Cricket Illawarra T20 Finals Day, our Bar TV Sports telecast powered by Johnson Legal. And welcome back to the main chair, Troy Coleman from the Keira Cricket Club, first grader.
Thank you very much for having me back. It's a hard act to follow, Mark Johnson there. He's spinning cliches like an old spinster, but he's done well, and he's a big supporter of Illawarra and Keira cricket, so it's great to have him around such a prestigious event as this.
He has indeed been batting since the dawn of time.
It's a nice tight here.
Yep, but Theo scampers through, and Dobinson was safe as a bank in the back end there just to whack another cliche in. Well, why not? We've started something now. Let's keep this party going.
In for a penny, in for a pound. We might as well.
That's right. Troy's been looking forward to getting the mic back. He's got some puns and cliches up his sleeve.
Oh, mate, that sandwich has reinvigorated me.
It looked good too. What was on it today?
Look, I made it myself. It was pretty extraordinary, but just like chicken, mushroom, salad. Just the bikini body doesn't sculpt itself, so you just got to look after yourself.
The Adonis of Keira cricket.
I do look like I've been carved from stone, but that's a very subjective view, I feel, but.
You won't be joining Run Illawarra with the young spinner?
Oh, no. Just
Keys will try and chase this down, but 2 runs conceded there. Just that's an indication if you're just joining us on our live stream of the outfield is a little sluggish this afternoon.
That's right. We've only seen probably 2 or 3 boundaries all afternoon from both teams. We've made a mistake in the commentary team a few times of balls going over the boundary just to pull up short. With the 1s and 2s, like we said, very important today.
Might start low-balling you, say they're going to stop, and if they go, then we can be pleasantly surprised as a unit.
Gee, Sisby's a little bit deceiving there. Like, he has rushed a few through, but that one there, he certainly put a little bit of diesel on that one.
That's right, and that's the difficulty for the batsman. Yes. He's very, very tight with his lines and his length, but the variations in pace are what get him a lot of his wickets. Graham there.
Much like the metaphorical underpants of Keira cricket at the moment, he's a bit skiddy, Sisby. He skids him through a bit, and at this consolidation phase of Keira cricket's batting innings, it's very useful for Northern Districts.
That's right, he does work for customs at the airport, so it's very important that he is smart and can pick up on body language.
He does look like a frisky gentleman.
Yeah, doesn't mind the odd frisk.
So, Keira, 3 for 26, chasing 90 for victory here at North Dalton Park. The Lions won the toss earlier. They sent the rule in. Cottam 13, Rees 14, and Pryor 12. The only Butchers batsman to score double figures. Great bowling performance from Peary, 3 for 23, Stark 2 for 10, and Smith 1 for 17. Smith already back in the pavilion. LBW to Sisby. Sisby with 2 wickets so far for the Butchers, and we've got an intriguing battle here in this second grade final.
Yeah, as we were mentioning before, they've decided to bowl Bondi's 4th over here, so that's an interesting play in the grand scheme of the game, and we'll see how it goes. If he gets a wicket here, that's a genius decision, but that kind of running does not help.
Great fielding there from Logan Clements in the covers. Got the ball in lightning quick. You can see he's just got the 1 sleeve on today as opposed to Robert Murphy's 2 with the gloves.
I think Bondi was thinking that he was short of the hopping crease there, so he might as well appeal, but I'm pretty confident he was fairly safe there. But Bondi's not shy of a few words or a few appeals, which is good. It keeps the game lively.
That's right. Bondi's never afraid to ask the question of the umpires. Maybe even if he knows he's safe, keep the umpire on their toes.
Oh, what are they getting paid for? Not going to stand there and be passengers. Bondi's going to keep them on their toes, keep them guessing, make them earn their pay. It's good from him. Keeping everyone in the game, Bondi. Exactly. Testing right. The Keira batsmen, keeping the fielders alive, and the umpires always vigilant.
He'll need a drink after this spell. He's been very, very good, Bond.
That's right. He has. Stephen Bond loves his cricket so much so he bought a house recently overlooking Hollymount Oval in Woonona.
It's in the blood, eh?
In the blood, yeah. As long as he's got a view of Hollymount, he's happy.
Oh, well, good on him. I tell you what, you have a little barbecue on the weekend in the off-season, and what a picturesque place to roll the arm over with a few titties in hand. Could
there be a better place? I know it was shown on the on Twitter and on Instagram on the weekend with a view of the pitch, showing the improvement that Troy was talking about. Hasn't always been the greatest pitch around the place, but in the last few years, all credit to the curators from the council. They're doing a great job with the pitch up at Woonona.
Speaking of decks, Troy, you had a really good look at this wicket before the start of this second grade final. You were surprised that Keira decided to have a bowl first. Just run us through what the wicket looked like.
Oh, for those who know North Dalton Park, they could have cut a 22-yard slab out of the Princess Highway.
Oh,
as Dobinson clears the infield.
Dobbo delivers, but will it go for 4?
I'm going to say no, lock it in.
I think it will this time.
Centimetres. Fractionally short.
Centimetres from the blue cone.
My word. They've run 3 though, but an expensive shot brought about by tight bowling from Bond.
Dobbo will be clipping that little bit of vision off and have it on his Facebook page, I reckon, 20 minutes after the completion of this match. It'll be the most. It'll go viral in the Illawarra.
That'll be the most viewed by Jack Dobinson on YouTube within a couple of hours. Even mid-game, I feel like he'd be giving it a few looks.
It was a good-looking stroke.
It did look very handsome. A word that you wouldn't associate with Jack Dobinson very often, which is unfortunate.
Just back to the deck, Troy. Is it playing exactly the way you expected it to?
It is. It doesn't seem to be keeping as low as I thought it would with the deluge of rain that we had. I expected it to stay a little bit lower, but they've done a fantastic job, the curators. This pitch is always the pinnacle of Illawarra cricket pitches, and and this is no exception. It's a beautiful flat pitch, nice even coverage of grass. There's a few surface cracks, but I think that's just, don't judge a book by its cover in that respect. It's a very true pitch. The even bounce there's really no problem. You could be batting here at 9 o'clock in the morning or 9 o'clock tonight, and it'll still be very, very true. So they've done an exceptional job.
And Nathan, we've got a bowling change here for the Butchers from the Taraji end.
That's right. This is young Curtis Den Hartog. He's one of the tallest men in the club. Really developing young bowler as well. He's scored lots of wickets. Taken lots of wickets for the Butchers in the grand final last year in second grade. I think he bowled 35, 40 consecutive dot balls. So very tight bowler here.
So on the comparisons, Keira are falling behind at 3 for 28 after 8 overs. They're chasing 90 here. After 10 overs, the Butchers were 3 for 48. So definitely these early wickets have stunted the Lions.
That's right. After the first wicket, they continued on with their run rate, but it's just been pegged back down a bit now with some tight bowling from the boys. Keira need to be looking for runs.
Dobinson plays and misses.
It's an interesting situation. The game's very well poised here. They can continue to try and score runs quickly and possibly continue the rot that is the wicket loss that's been happening, or they can consolidate. Both Jack Dobinson and Nick Theodosiadis are known opening batsmen and have been opening batsmen for Keira for quite a while, so they might be just using this as a rebuilding phase. So we'll see. We'll see what happens after 10 overs. They still would consider themselves very much in the game if they were, let's say, 3 for 38 after 10 overs, because in the grand scheme of
Dobinson,
clears
that
the front
is a
leg.
good-looking stroke.
Glorious.
He's replicated that from the Wollongong end this time. Still won't go for 4, but they will come back for 3, and he's running hard, and they get him safely.
Dobinson moving at a glacial pace between the wickets, but still manages to trot through for 3. He's liking those long straight boundaries today, Dobinson. I think he might be looking for a short square soon after running 2 threes in the space of 2 overs. The man is not known for his endurance, unfortunately.
I'm sure with both of those shots, he would have been looking at them quite fondly, thinking they'd be over the boundary for sure.
Most days I feel like they would trickle over the rope quite comfortably. I feel the infield would give it up, but there's Nick
this is
Theodosiadis.
dangerous.
Lofts on
I
over
think
cover.
it's going to go behind the
shape.
fielder, and it does, just.
I'm interested to see the running between the wickets between these two. I said in jest before about Dobbo's pace between the wicket, but for what Dobbo lacks in pace, Nick Theodosiadis certainly makes up for in pace, and I feel like they're not the most dynamic running between the wickets combination, and I certainly, in Akira's point of view, I hope there's no mix-ups in the running, because I feel like Nick Theo needs to understand who he's running with at the moment, and there's no point trying to run 4s when Dobbo is still pottering along for his first run.
So Northern Districts looking for their second premiership of the day here after 4th grade were victorious earlier this afternoon. Paul Partland from the Thirroul Butchers Gold 4th grade team. Mate, I believe you actually didn't get out on the field today, but you guys got home at the death.
A couple of beers, mate, and we watched with intent today, and it was a very close game. Went right down to the last delivery.
So just run us through a few of the key highlights in that 4th grade match.
Posted a score of 90 Keira, and went down, I think we were about 6 for 65 and lost our 7th wicket shortly after, but we rallied a little bit, and the late order did the job, and we got home on the last delivery.
So who hit the winning run off that last ball?
Murray Trafone, Truffles, terrific, straight over the onside, cool as a cucumber, done the job at number 11.
Never in doubt.
World's best number 11, Truffles.
So how's everyone feeling? Because I know that you guys were fairly confident going into this grand final, and a number of players were rested because you've got a lot of depth in that 4th grade squad. So how is everyone? It's that Dobbo.
Just inside. Just inside. One bounce.
Well, he finally gets the boundary, boys. It's been brewing.
That's right. Straight off the middle of the bat, that one, wasn't it?
It has been brewing. And Troy, you were bang on, mate. Theo and Dobinson they're starting to kick a little bit now because they had to consolidate after slumping to 3 for 28. But Paul, how are the Thirroul boys after that victory?
Well, backing up yesterday for a one-day game, we're fairly sore and sorry, but improving with every beverage as we go. So, yeah, things are looking better. There was a close game, and Keira, didn't look like they had enough at 90, but really bowled well. Their spinners bowled well and took the pace out of the game, and it looked very doubtful for Northern Districts for a while.
Well, you know what? It could be a bit of an omen for this match because, again, Keira only chasing 90, which, we said at the start of this match, if they knock it around for 1s and 2s, they should get home. But certainly not after the way Sismi's bowled. We've got a bit of a ball game here.
Yeah, I thought 89 maybe wasn't enough, but it was probably just one short of a great total. But you get down 3 for 20, and all of a sudden everyone starts looking at the scoreboard, and 90 looks a long way away. Probably if Northern Districts had made 140, Keira would go out and make 140 easily. But everybody plays to the score that's in front of them.
And I know that Pete Armstrong, he's the captain of the 2-day team. He's been the captain of the 1-day of the 2020 team this year as well.
Yeah, he has. Brad Rutledge, Tug stood in for him today, and didn't have a lot of luck with the bat, but was outstanding as the skipper. Tug was the skipper today, but Pete's the spiritual leader of the team, and puts a lot of effort into the groundwork during the week. He's got a big cavalry to choose from, and we all just get on as mates and enjoy a hit on the weekend.
And you and Pete both sat out today's final. Was that tough?
Oh, no, look, to be honest, it got down close at the end, and it was very enjoyable, but watching from the edge. I took some footage of everybody. Nobody had talked to each other. There was 20 metres between everybody. Nobody had watched. So, no, look, to be honest, I really enjoyed it as a spectator today, and no pressure in the end for the boys that were sitting on the sideline.
Well, Thurul chasing 3 premierships on this Cricket Illawarra T20 finals day. 4th grade victorious. Paul Partland, congratulations on getting the Gold Boys home.
Thanks, Travis. Really enjoyed it. Cheers, mate.
Fantastic. Let's get back to this 2nd grade grand final, and Keira chasing 90 for victory. And Dobinson and Theo just starting to build a quality partnership here, Troy.
Yeah, you're very, very correct in saying that. As I said before, if they're just in this consolidation stage that managed to get themselves to 3 for 40 odd, they still consider themselves a very big chance in this game. So the key is not losing wickets at this point in time, because they've built quite a handy partnership at the moment. So we'll see how they can, if they can continue scoring as freely as they have been the last few balls.
So Davison just finishes up another over there.
That's right. That was quite a tidy over from Davidson. Just taking the pace off the ball a little bit after Stephen Bond's spell. Quite a tidy over there. Switching ends, coming from the southern end there, the Wollongong end.
So Keira at 3 for 39 after 10, and on comparison, boys, because we can go back to Thurul's performance. They were 3 for 48 after 10. Now, we do know that we've got recognised batsmen in at the moment, blokes that can open the batting, so it's going to be fascinating to see just how long this partnership can go, Troy.
Yeah, it's a very sumptuous position the game's in at the moment. I'm thoroughly enjoying the battle between young Den Hartog here and the seasoned head of Jack Dobinson. Both recognised batsmen out there, and Den Hartog's got a bit to doing with the ball, so hopefully we can just keep plugging away. Both teams looking for a breakthrough. Keira looking to find a few run-scoring shots, and one more invaluable wicket Northern Districts are searching it for here.
That's right, and hopefully Curtis Den Hartog can be the man to take that wicket. With his height, he's often compared to Glenn McGrath, Curtly Ambrose, but with a few injuries in the last couple of seasons.
Oh, scooped up and splits the fieldsman. Dobbo's heart would have been in his mouth for a second there.
He would have been very relieved to see that area vacant.
And gets a cheeky single. Hey, we just heard from Paul Partland there from the Thurul 4th grade team, victorious in 4th grade earlier today over Keira. If you missed the earlier results, 3rd grade, Wests won by 30-odd runs over Corrimal. The Red Devils 9 for 113. Corrimal bowled out for 78. Negro 24 off 27. Doig 21. The man of the match was Brian Lattin behind the stumps. 3 stumpings, 3 catches. Exceptional performance from a keeper. And Corrimal, unfortunately for them, they just got off to a terrible start. They were 4 for 19 after 7 overs, and it very, very hard to come back from that.
They never really recovered, did they, from that 4 for 19? They were always chasing the 8 ball after that. Full credit to the West Illawarra boys for that victory. Well done.
Very much the nature of the beast of T20 cricket. You're not going to get there if you don't score runs, and with trying to score runs, there's a very obvious and inherent risk of losing wickets, and unfortunately it just didn't happen for Corrimal today.
No, we're just seeing both the Thurul and the Helensburgh 1st graders really intensifying their warm-ups here as we gear up for our 1st grade T20 final a little later this afternoon, powered by Johnson Legal and Bar TV Sports. Hope you're enjoying our coverage this afternoon with Nathan Alterator from the Thurul Cricket Club, Troy Coleman from Keira, and Travis Winks from 96.5 Wave FM, and Dobinson digs that one out. Thought about a cheeky, quick little single, but he was absolutely no chance with Dan Harthog right there.
And that's right, and Nicholas at the other end wasn't interested at all, was he?
Nah, I think he's learnt the batsman that he's batting with, and I feel like it's not really worth the risk at this stage. Dobinson's shown that he can play a few shots, and I think the cheeky singles on his behalf is not really the option. I think he's got to pick the ball that he feels like he can hit. There's still a lot of space out there for runs. They may not go for 4, but Dobbo loves running 3, so we'll see if we can just get a few in the gap for him.
I'm just going to check out the weather zone radar, boys, because we do know that there's the potential for a shower, possibly even a thunderstorm across the Illawarra later this afternoon, and that still remains the case. A 20% chance of that moisture eventuating here, and the wind has actually died off a little bit, and it shouldn't intensify anymore this afternoon. So that is good news. But with that radar, we did know that earlier there was a storm over the top of Keira. Well, that's now passed to the southern part of Goulburn and looks as though it will miss Wollongong. So hopefully there's another storm out over Wagga Wagga, and if that continues to come across, we might get a little touch of that. But maybe the first grade final might be done. It's still a long way away.
That's right. The weather's quite clear here at Dalton Park at the moment. We do have some bit of black behind us coming over the escarpment. That's a pretty regular sight down here in Wollongong.
And not much moisture there, boys. I mean, the radar's showing there's not too much going on there. So hopefully we have dry running, and Dobinson, big hook.
So he's found green pastures.
Up, a couple of runs there because there's a fielder right on the fence. It was never going to go for 4 anyway because the grass is super slow.
I think we can safely assume that most balls that go in the air towards the boundary are not going to go to the boundary. That one looked like for all money it was going to go for 4, but it seemed to be pretty fairly plucked by the fielder out there at deep mid wicket, which is a bit unfortunate for Dobinson, but still a good contest out here between bat and ball.
Theo and Dobbo looking the goods at the moment, and Nathan, they've got to be starting to frustrate this Butchers attack.
That's right. I think the Butchers realise that it's very important to get to break this partnership. It's been going for a few overs now, so sooner we get this wicket. That looks close.
Dobbo survives
That's
the big
right.
appeal.
Chochi's finger stays down.
Chochi's another man who doesn't mind the occasional LBW, but there's a very little rhyme or reason behind how he gives them, so it's very hard to see from square. We think he might have been creeping down with the shape that he's bowling at the moment.
That's right. Here comes the replay. Oh, no.
No, it just looked like it.
Looked like the replay.
The carbon copy, that shot.
Although, you know what, just because we're talking replays, Johnson Legal replay, we might get a replay of one of those last 2 shots just to put a bit of variation in the attack for us here in the commentary box. Always looking for something different. And Dobbo,
beautiful cover drive there by Dobinson.
Himself in slow-mo. We would never show that cover drive of Dobbo in slow-mo.
Oh, it'd be like watching Baywatch.
The Hoff.
I was thinking more... Who's the other one? Pamela Anderson, yeah.
Wow.
The sandy blonde hair, the curvatures of a woman's body that they both have in spades. Jack Dobinson looking very nice out there, though.
He is Bar TV Sports bringing you this coverage powered by Johnson Legal. Cricket Illawarra T20 Finals Day, and that is a full toss, and that got the punishment it deserved, but will it go for 4?
Oh, it does appear to have gone for 4.
A rare boundary.
And we'll see what the decision is. It could be a no ball for height. They've waved it down, unfortunately. The crowd loves seeing a free hit.
Well, it was there for the picking.
That's right. The Butchers can't afford to bowl there at all. They need to make sure that those full tosses are out of their repertoire this afternoon.
So Keira have scurried their way to 3 for 51 after 11 overs, which is a bit better of a situation than they were looking like when they first started their run chase with those 3 quick wickets.
And we've got a bowling change here, Nathan.
That's right. This is actually the leading wicket taken for the Butchers in the 2020 competition. Mark Cottam, he's taken 12 to 15 wickets this season. He just bowls really accurate bowling outside the off stump left arm. Very orthodox. So let's hope he can take a quick wicket.
Now, we were just talking about the weather, and I kid you not, one of our cameramen has just said he's felt some sprinkles.
Oh, that sounds a bit ominous, doesn't it?
Well, it's going to be nothing in it.
That's right.
There's no need to be alarmed. We will proceed here as programmed because I'm not seeing much moisture on the radar. But it's just a funny place here where it can be beautiful, and then you get a little sprinkle, and you just never ever know.
The joys of Australian summer. You never know when the rain's going to come.
It's the joys of the Illawarra. That's what it is.
Yeah, you're not wrong. You are not wrong. The Illawarra can bring. You put the stumps in the ground, it'll break a drought. Trust me.
That's right. We were talking before, Troy, about how remarkable it is that this field's looking so good today. Oh, there's a wicket. Bowled by Mark Cottam.
Cottam gets Dobbo, and Dobbo will be a little cranky on himself for that.
That's right. He galloped right down the wicket, didn't he, trying to get to the pitch of that ball. Just snuck under the bat and cleaned up his stumps.
He's looking good out there too, Jackie. I think he'd be disappointed in himself there. He'd set a good foundation, and I feel like that's not really what Keira needed at the moment. They're going along nicely, and I don't think the expansive shot was needed with the introduction of a new bowler.
Here's the Johnson legal replay. It just looked as though it was a bit of an unorthodox type of shot there from Dobbo. He just didn't seem like he was in control on that.
I think he premeditated the shot, and he ended up yorking himself, which he's a bit disappointed about. He did play a very good innings for the club, and he steadied the ship a bit. And the batsman in now is Matt Stark, who bowled very well earlier today. We'll see if the batting is as good as the bowling.
That's right. Just wondering if Chotzi's going to fix up these stumps here. He's taking his time. He's hoping they're going to fix themselves.
So Stacey's been bumped down the order.
This could be another steadying move from Keira Cricket. I feel like Nick might be playing the shots here, and Matt Stark, who has a very good ability to noodle the ball around for singles, he could be playing the anchor role here.
Yeah, well, Stark promoted from 9, and Stacey will remain in the pavilion for the time being. Right call, Troy?
I feel like if you've got the hitting ability of James to come in later, it's a tough situation because you could bring him in and he could win the game for you in a couple of overs. But I really do feel like they're trying to steady the ship again here because there's like 7 and a bit overs left to go, which is a long time in 2020 cricket. So we'll see how Stark plays this. It looks to me that he's going to try and work the ball around.
Still got time to get down here to North Dalton Park. Our first grade T20 final will get underway as soon as this one is concluded, and I reckon this one will go right down to the wire. We will have Thurul in their third grand final of the day up against the Helensburgh Tigers, whom on paper, Nathan, the Tigers, they are the team to beat.
They are, and they have been the team to beat for a couple of seasons now. So yeah, in first grade it'll be a very tight battle today. Helensburgh would have to start as favourites, you would think.
Yeah, well, like we said at the start of this run chase from Keira, we would have thought Thurul were no chance of going 2 from 2 on grand final day after that victory to their fourth grade team.
Here we go.
Yes. And, Stark has just scooped it up, and Thurul are a big chance of making it 2 from 2.
That's right. You must say the tables have turned now. Great catch in the mid-wicket area there from Stuart Pryor. And yeah, Mark Cottam really has been the game changer here. Two quick wickets.
And James Stacey, the man coming in. Unfortunately, Starkey couldn't do that job that he no doubt went in there to do. He looked to work at the mid-wicket. I don't think the ball was really there for him. It's a bit unfortunate.
Stacey was incredible with his glove work earlier today. He took 2 catches. He had a stumping.
Very good stumping too.
He had a run-out assist. He was incredible. He was absolutely incredible, and it follows on from the form of Brian from third grade earlier today. Brian Latin, man of the match for his stumping, 3 catches in West's victory over Corrimal. But Stacey, I mean, for as good as his glove work was today, Troy, he needs some brilliant bat work right now.
Oh, he certainly does. He needs to do the job for his team here. He's played a very senior role in the club this year, which is very good to see because he's a prodigious talent, and it's good to see people like him stepping up and really filling the shoes or making the most of what their ability dictates. He's a strong hitter of the ball, and looks like there's another bowling change.
Yeah, another bowling change, Nathan.
Yeah, this is Stuart Pryor, new to the club in the 2014 season. So he's been around for a couple of seasons now, played a bit of first grade this year. He's just medium pacer, but very tight with his bowling. So, very important time here for Keira and for the Butchers as well.
5 for 53, 13 overs down, chasing 90 for victory, the Lions. Crucial little period of play here, Troy.
Yeah, 38 runs. If you think about it, it's not that many runs, but a new batsman in and Nick Theo losing partners left, right and centre. We really need to see a stirring innings from one of these two, or if not both. it is a very, very tough situation to come in and try and have to score at around 5, 6 and over. So we'll see if anyone can do what James Stacey can. He's a very free-flowing batsman. He's got shots all around the ground. And we'll see if he has to kind of inhibit his natural stroke playing ability in this situation, or he'll just go out all guns blazing.
Beautiful afternoon here at North Dalton Park, and as quickly as our cameraman told us, there was a couple of sprinkles. Stacey! Oh,
he holds on to the ball.
Run himself
Wise
out.
move from the young man.
Keys held on to it. Yeah, beautiful afternoon, and there was a momentary sprinkle earlier. We do have some threatening clouds, but there's nothing in them. Theo is trying to hit with some power, and Stacey's almost replicated the previous ball, and he's had a little slip up. Tell me this, Troy. Out on this centre, the metal spikes or the rubbers?
Oh, definitely metal spikes. I feel like the rubber strikes, they're very frowned upon on the turf turf pitches. No, sorry, the rubber ones are a no-go on the turf pitches. It says they burn the pitch with the rubber spikes, which is an interesting thing to say.
Did you get better grip off the steel, yeah?
Yeah, very much so, very much so. So metal spikes are the go, but it seems like James Stacey's got his skates on today.
Rollerblading.
Yeah, he was turning like the Queen Mary ship, unfortunately, today, but...
Excellent fielding there from Stuart Pryor off his own bowling.
Great first over.
Pryor, exceptional. Putting the brakes on the Lions, and they've been applied in the last couple of overs with couple of quick wickets. After 14, the Lions 5 for 53 in pursuit of 90.
6 and over from here on in. It's a bit of a daunting task as a new batsman to come in trying to score, but it's a big ground. There's lots of runs out there. I think the key here is to keep your head and just wait for the bad ball, although there has not been many from the Northern District bowlers today.
So we got Cotton back on here from the Taraji end.
That's right. Mark Cotton, affectionately known as Woody, due to his Toy Story looks. So he's been, one of the very experienced campaigner for the Butchers. 2 wickets already in the first over. Let's hope he can get a couple more here.
Stacey has a swing, no ding.
I feel like that adds closure to what we thought James Stacey would be doing today. I don't think he'll be trying to noodle them around.
No, and that sort of shot there and his reaction, Troy, is that him saying, come on, we can do this, but we're just feeling it a little bit. Is he feeling it?
I feel like he might be reverting back to his natural game here, and the pressure is obviously on. He's a player that he appears cool, calm and collected all the time, and for the most part he is, but I feel like the pressure might be getting to him here, and he knows that probably wasn't the shot to play in that situation.
That is.
Having said that, he's cleared the front leg, and he's hit a beautiful lofted off drive there.
Only get 2, but they will only get 2.
But you take 2 runs early in the over here. The thing you don't want to do is have a swing and a miss at 3 in a row and then get out later in the over. You just got to work him around. Nick Theo's a runner. He runs. He loves running. I've never seen the man not run. He's sitting and he could be running. His mouth off. But
that's right. And Robert Murphy with the gloves here feels a bit left out with all the.
Stacey goes through for the quick single. Hold the phone there for a tick, Nathan. That was clever cricket there.
It was a very quick single there. Rob Murphy would be wanting to get a couple of dismissals of his own, seeing Latin, seeing the first innings here. Stacey as well. Rob Murphy's ready to snaffle anything up that comes past the stumps.
Powerful front foot sweet shot from Nick Theodosiadis there. And really, if you think about it, all they need to do here, they need to just make sure that they're not having too many balls in a row where they're not scoring runs. Because I'd normally like to say the boundary will come, but the 3 will come or the 2 will come. And that's it's all relative when you're playing on an outfield this slow. James Stacey lost one in the air.
This could be trouble. It is coming down and it is taken safely, and that's another big wicket for the Butchers.
That's right. The safe hands of Captain Graham Sismy underneath that one. Sends Stacey back to the dressing room.
And Cottam's back in the wickets again.
That's 3 already. Travis.
Great bowling from Cottam.
And it brings in Toby Felvis. It's quite an interesting player to watch. He was running after the ball today and it looked like he was falling over, but I assure you that's how he constantly looks. He's in a perpetual state of falling over or being off balance. He's a strong hitter of the ball. He's a solid young lad, only about 18 years old, and I think he's gained significantly more mass than when he was 17 years old for fluid replacement. I think we could say, but he's
on fluid replacement therapy, hasn't he?
Yeah, he's been on the fluid replacement therapy. I feel like it's the
Dr. Dan Murphy.
Oh, yeah, the Mitchell Pearce School of Fluid Replacement.
Wow.
But
I knew that was going to come out sometime today. What's Toby's cricketing story?
Toby's really interesting. He's grown up playing all his junior cricket with Keira, which is good to see. Good to see someone come through into the adult cricket after coming through the junior ranks. He notoriously got out trying to reverse sweep one of the first balls he played in first grade, which is an interesting shot and one I don't feel like he's got in his game. But he's an interesting bowler who runs in. When he bowls, he runs in like an Olympic slalom in the Winter Olympics. He has the world's most zigzaggy run up. But yeah, he's a crafty batsman, and Keira needs a good innings from him here.
They're going to need every bit of his talent this afternoon if they're to remain in this contest. So Keira 6 for 59 after 15 overs, and on comparison, Nathan, the Butchers were 6 for 66 after 15.
That's right, so a little bit ahead there on the par run rate. A lot of responsibility here for Nick. Troy, if you were in Nick's shoes out there at the moment, what would your approach be?
Try and stop myself from wetting myself. I am not one for the big games.
Troy Coleman with just absolute honesty.
I would be packing it at this point in time.
Not another Mitchell Pearce reference, was that?
No. Give me the ball, I'll be all right. But batting in this situation, it's a very daunting task because you're probably the last recognised batsman there. Chance at the bowler's end here, but they're home pretty safely. But Nick Theodosiadis being the last recognised batsman out there, he's really got an enormous job, and he prides himself on these situations. He's a bigger man than me. He's really going to take this in his stride, and I think he's going to make a fair shake of this game.
Well, he's got an opportunity to become a Keira Cricket Club legend if he can stay out there and see this
he hits
home.
A beautiful off drive.
It'll be three.
It will be three.
It'll be four.
It's going to be three. It's four.
We've got a boundary.
It's rare as seeing a unicorn out here. That was incredible. I think that's only the fourth boundary of the day, and it really did deserve a boundary. That was one of the best shots I've seen today, and I'm really it's done a great honour to cricket as a sport that went to the fence, because I would have hung up the boots if that went for three.
Well, we've seen some very, very good quality shots from both teams denied already this afternoon, so it wouldn't have surprised me if the little grass gods there decided to grow another couple of mil and stop that one.
Yeah, the cricketing gods smiled upon us just then, which is fantastic. This is exactly what the game needed. We needed a boundary, because that makes the run rate seems far more achievable than it was not one ball ago. 4 runs, massive jump in the grand scheme of things. It's a large portion of the run chase in one shot, which is the nature of a low-scoring game. But you like seeing some boundaries. It's really making a contest of it.
You still got Pryor and transmission from the city end.
That's right, a very tidy bowler, Stuart Pryor. You saw his first over. Very, very tidy there. Let's hope he can tighten the screws a bit more this over. But very, very economical, very quick getting through his overs.
That was a great stroke from Theo.
He's got all the shots in the textbook. He really is the art of cricket personified as he smears one through cover.
Now come back for 2. And it's the right call. Yes, it put the pressure on the keeper, and it was a bit of a wayward throw. Still good fielding from Thurul. I mean, the pressure's on, Nathan. Didn't do anything wrong there, but this is it. You've got to make the most of those opportunities, both teams.
That's right. These half opportunities will present themselves quite regularly, and it's really important that both teams take those opportunities when they come. Just a slight misfield we saw there from young Logan, but that was the difference for Keira getting through for 2.
Oh,
beautiful straight drive.
I'm not saying anything about the
I'm saying it's a 4.
How long.
Yes,
it is a 4.
it's gone for 4.
2 boundaries in the 1 over. And all of a sudden the Lions are back purring again, but there's still a lot of cricket to be played in this second grade final.
The equation's back under a run a ball now, which is a much more achievable feat, especially with how big the boundary is. That's what they needed. They needed that vent, Keira. Keira has now... They've kind of cast off the shackles of the oppressive bowling that the Northern Districts have been doing, and I feel like the momentum could have swung here.
Well, I can tell you this, guys. The Lions are now 6 for 70 after 16. We'll just check out the Johnson Legal replay of this second boundary of the over. Good stuff from Theo. So the Lions 6 for 70 after 16. They're chasing 90 for victory. On the comparison stats, the rule was 6 for 73. After 16, so that gives you an idea of they're pretty much neck and neck at the moment, and it's those early wickets. And of course, the Butchers only lost 2 more wickets in their run to 8 for 89. So a wicket's a key here right now, Troy.
Very much. And is this Sismi back on?
This
Yeah,
is Sismi.
Sismi, and Sismi's taken 2 very crucial wickets earlier in the day already. So this is a big play. This is a big roll of the dice by Northern Districts here.
Yep, the captain.
As Toby Felvis crashes one through the covers here. Slow outfield is definitely not going to be 4. Toby's fallen over.
Oh, geez, that could be. You know what? That right there, the Felvis slip, that could be costly in the wash-up.
He might have the rubbers on, Troy, not the spikes.
Oh, exactly right. I'd be firing my shoe sponsor today if I was Toby Felvis. That's not what you need in this situation when every run's key and he's ended up on his huggies on the pitch.
That could be a really crucial run. I'm just anticipating, guys, that this is going to come right down to the wire.
And already you see Nick Theodosiadis trying to play a big, expansive shot. I feel like Toby Felvis, he's a player that can play the shots, and I don't think he's enough of a thinking man's cricketer to really let the gravity of the situation press on him too much. So,
big swing.
And as you can see, he's having a big swing at Nick Theo here, and I feel like that slip, it's made a big change in the game already. It's a big call to make, but I honestly feel that if Toby Felvis is on strike, he could have played a couple more shots, but Nick Theo now feels like the pressure's on him.
That's right, and not too far from the edge there either, judging by the body language of Robert Murphy.
Theo gets a single here.
We'll see how Toby handles the last couple of deliveries this over, because you don't want to have to try and sit on a bowler knowing that you can't score off them. You need to still try and get the runs, because the runs aren't going to score himself.
This corresponding over when Thurul were batting was a 5-run over for the Butchers. Another quick single. Keys, wayward throw.
Yeah, throw on target there would have found him short, I imagine.
Well, it would have been an exciting Johnson legal replay at least.
That's right. Yeah, unfortunately, he couldn't get it in the same frame.
Yeah, if that was a tee shot of golf, that might have been out of bounds, that throw, unfortunately. But Nick
Theo.
He bludgeons on out to mid-wicket.
Pick up 2 maybe. Yes, they will.
Scuttle through for 2.
The long throw comes in, and the crowd appreciates the cricket from both the Butchers and the Lions here this afternoon in this second grade T20 final. We've got a thriller on our hands.
We have, the last couple of overs have really swung the pendulum back in the favour of Keira. So it's going to be very interesting next couple of overs.
So 6 for 75 after 17, the Lions in pursuit of 90 for victory, and Thurul were 6 for 78 at the same point.
On the Johnson legal replay, we show how close, and he would have been well short if the throw was on target, unfortunately, for the Northern Districts team. But he's a wily character, Nick Theodosiadis, and he lives off these situations. I don't want to be around him for the next few weeks if he gets us home here, but he's doing a great job for Keira today.
Well, he's surely got to get his name put on some kind of honour wall.
Oh, how wide's the wall?
Well,
lots of letters.
If he can remain not out after this innings, when this has been up and down like a yo-yo, this run chase, and it's a big if because there's still a long way to go here. If he can, he deserves every accolade he gets.
Oh, and he'll get them. We're a club that prides itself on rewarding those who have put in a good effort, regardless of how popular they may be. They could be an introvert like myself, or they could be someone who's very extroverted like Toby Felvis. But if Nick Theo steers the ship home here, he will no doubt get the accolades he deserves. He's done a great job so far, and he'd love to be the one to see us home.
Likewise for Thurul. I mean, Sismi, just with his leadership and his bowling this afternoon, Cottam as well. I mean, handy. I mean, Cottam, we probably all expected him to score a truckload of runs. He got 13, second highest score. There was only 3 batsmen for the Butchers that scored double figures, but he's bowled well as well today.
He has. He's a complete package, Mark Cottam. So obviously Keira would have been happy to see the back of him for only 13, 14 runs. But with the ball, 3 wickets, quite destructive out there.
Absolutely.
Oh, no shot offered.
No, and this over was a tight over for the Butchers as well. They only scored 4 off it, so this is an opportunity for Keira potentially to get back to even Stevens, but they haven't started very well in this over.
No, it is a big over. You're right in saying that. A couple of runs here.
Theo.
And it's bowled him.
Bowled him. Well, Pryor has just pressured and pressured and pressured. And now the man who the Keira Cricket Club was hoping would guide them through to victory is making the long walk back. And you've got to think the pendulum has just swung back in the Butchers' favour.
You'd be right in saying that. 14 runs off the last 2 overs here, and two relatively new batsmen on strike. And Link Benelmoon, not known for his, let's say, technique when it comes to cricket, but he has got an eye like a dead fish and can hit a ball a very long way. So we'll see how he goes here. Unfortunate for Nick there. He was doing a great job for Keira, but if you got to go, you got to go. Great piece of bowling though. Hitting those Yorkers at the depth in the death overs, it's exactly what Northern Districts needed then.
That's right. It was an important wicket for Northern Districts, but well done to Nick Theodosiadis. Excellent batting there, and really brought Keira back into the game.
Yep, and the crowd appreciating Theo's performance as he walks back into the dressing rooms, but you can just see all of a sudden the body language has changed again for Northern Districts. There's a bit of clapping. They're all on their toes. They're ready to finally deliver a T20 premiership to the second grade because Keira have just dominated in recent years.
That's right. It had meant a lot to the boys to have a victory here. That was another close call. A victory here, and it'll especially buoy the first grade boys going into their grand final as well.
Of course, Northern Districts chasing 3 premierships today out of 4 because 4th grade was victorious earlier, and second grade looking to end Keira's domination the last 3 seasons here.
That's right. Well done to Keira over the last few years. They've been the side to beat in all 3 formats of the game. A victory here for the Butchers would be massive.
So after 18 overs, the Lions 7 for 76 in pursuit of 90 for victory, and the Butchers were 6 for 82 after 18. Oh, jeez, he had to stretch there, didn't he?
Dead ball. They get the batsmen are going to have to return to the striker's end.
What appeared to be an interesting decision there. It did look like he was trying to work the ball on the onside, but Steve say he saw that there was no shot offered. An interesting decision. Hopefully it doesn't make too big a mark on the rest of the game.
We'll check out the Johnson Legal replay when we get a chance. We're back live. And that's a dot ball, a very valuable dot ball there. Fielded by Dan Hartog.
Sismy doing the job for his team here. He's taking it upon himself, bearing a lot of the load here, and he struck just when his team needed
another
it.
Wicket.
Great bowling there from Graham Sismy.
Felvis is gone. And I think there goes the Lions' chances of winning the second grade grand final, Troy.
Yeah, it's a tough ask from here. We've got 2 not very recognised batsmen. Toby Felvis probably the last one. Needing 7 runs and over, unfortunately, and I feel like it might be slipping away from Keira Cricket Club today.
Yeah, Harry Fisher has an opportunity to do something very, very special.
We see on the Johnson Legal replay that it did stay a little bit low, but Toby in no man's land with that kind of shot.
That's right. He was trying to hit it out of its skin, wasn't he?
Very much.
That's right.
He had to have a crack.
That's right. No option there for Toby. Just unfortunate that he missed that one.
Link Benelmoon can still wield the long blade very well, but and Harry Fisher is not a terrible batsman by any stretch of the imagination, but it's just a massive situation for 2 people who they probably didn't envisage this being their role in the day.
No, it's a big ask for these 2 opening bowlers.
As the rain starts to come down.
No, that's
a car. Here we go.
He played a little bit of lawn bowls there, but he couldn't hit the stump. So that's probably the call of the afternoon.
Bear Grylls here knows everything around him. He's so in touch with nature. Mistaken a driving car for rain on the tarp. Well, there you go.
On the gravel. I mean, it did have that sound. I mean, if you're a Hollywood producer and trying to mix in some rain sound effects, there's an option.
Surely a keen
helping him out
for what's happening around me.
Well, I've got to talk him up because his comments have been brilliant this afternoon.
Oh, he's been outstanding, hasn't he?
That one there, like seriously, that will probably go viral on Facebook as well. Dobbo will be all over that. We'll get Jack, our producer, onto that and get the time code because that's certainly got to be shared with people across the.
We just need some vision of his face as well.
Like a beetroot.
There, that's good bowling from Sismy, the captain of the Butchers. You can just feel it from him, Nathan, that he knows that in about 5 minutes or so he's going to be holding up the trophy.
He's looking forward to that moment. We can't say anything quite yet, but yeah, definitely looking forward to that victory.
And 13 off the last over. That is a nigh impossible ask for two tail-end batsmen.
Yep. Well, here's the frustrating thing, guys, is for the Keira Lions, they've scored just 1 run and over for the last 3 overs.
Less than ideal.
That's right, but anything can happen in 2020, can't it?
It's a crazy game, isn't it?
Well, Keira have dominated this competition. They're reigning premiers. They've won the last 2 against the rule, but I'll say it right now. The Butchers are chasing 3 premierships today in 4th, 2nds and 1st, and this will be 2 from 2. We've got 6 balls left, and it'll be Pryor to close it out for the Northern Districts Cricket Club. It'll be a big moment for him as he bowls at the death. I just don't think Bendel Moon and Fisher can do it. And Pryor takes the wicket. Big swing from Fisher, knocks over the woodwork. And Keira now 9 for 77.
That's right. I think it might be safe to say now that the rule
you
bowling.
Want to say it's safe now?
Maybe safe now with that 9th wicket.
It's a bold call. We'll see if it comes through. As Keira's last batsman strides out to the crease.
I'm a betting man. And you know what? Let's just give James Peary a massive rap right now, because earlier today he took 3 for 23. He was exceptional with the ball, and he did what Sismy and Cotterman and Pryor have done here for Thurul. He was exceptional with the Pill boys.
Exactly, he really was, and it's a tough thing for him to finish the day having to try and graft 13 runs off the last 5 balls, because he's had such a good day to this point, and it's not how he'd want to finish the day. It might put a real dampener on what was otherwise a very good performance from him.
No doubt the beer will still be flowing for the Lions at the Wiseman Park Bowling Club.
But they won't taste as sweet. Not as sweet, I don't think.
Well, they have tasted the sweet, sweet taste of premiership glory previously, and it's been a long time coming for Thurul. Lots of frustration over the last couple of years, Nathan.
Oh, there has been, yes, but the boys, to their credit, have stuck to it. A lot of the boys are still together, so it's great to see them in this position now. The bowling club might need to be open a bit after 8 o'clock now. The 4th grade boys might be going home then, but I'm sure the 2nd grade boys will be kicking on a bit after 8 o'clock.
And who knows what will happen this afternoon with our Bar TV Sports coverage powered by Johnson Legal, because we still have the 1st grade grand final to come between the Northern Districts Cricket Club and the Helensburgh Tigers and Peary. Oh,
great effort out there.
Classic. That was commitment.
He's got to come back.
There we go.
And he's come back for 3.
That was absolute commitment in the outfield.
Oh. Yeah, young Patrick Reese out there, only 15 years of age. What a great effort.
It was a great effort from the young fella there. He put his body on the line there, which is what you'd expect from a young person, but he really did give it a red-hot go.
10 runs for victory.
And he's hit it pretty strongly down towards long on.
He pierced the 2 young blokes. That's Keys, who fires it back in to Pryor.
Great arm from the young fella, wasn't it, out there?
I think it's 7 runs from 2 balls here.
Peary's having a red-hot go here. He's not going to die wondering.
Could we see a super over?
We won't now, you wouldn't think.
You wouldn't imagine that Peary can send this one over the boundary here, but...
The single and...
As we've said all day, stranger things have happened, but it's hard to see this one going down to a super over.
7 runs required for victory.
6 runs for the draw.
It's unlikely. 6 for the draw. It'll take a monumental hit here from Bendel Moon. Pryor comes in. And Bendel Moon gets a bit of a toppish edge. They'll pick up 2.
That could be it.
And that's it.
And the Butchers.
And that's it.
The crowd erupts.
They celebrate a long overdue victory. 4 runs. It's been a long time coming, Nathan Alterator, but Northern District's 2nd graders are now the Illawarra T20 champions.
That's right. Congratulations to Graham Sismy and the boys. Great performance today. Probably would have liked to see a few more on the board in the first innings, but full credit to the boys for defending that total of 89.
And you can't really ask for much more than that. 2 of the 3 games today coming down to the last ball. Really is a great day for 2020 cricket in Illawarra. It's been a rich, full day. The cricket has not disappointed, and commiserations to the Keira cricket side, who's been a very strong 2nd grade cricket unit this year. But in the end, the bowling unit of the Northern Districts was just too strong.
3 wickets there for Pryor. He closed it out in style. Sismy picked up 3 wickets as well. Cottam picked up 2. It was an exceptional performance pretty much across the board as the fielding unit for Northern Districts. They had to make sure that they suffocated Keira, defending only 90 runs, and they did just that.
That's right. There was some great batting in the middle there from Keira. Really brought the game back to even. But that tight bowling and those wickets really didn't help Keira.
No, there was a little period there where the Lions lost their way between the third and the fourth over. They lost a handful of wickets, Troy, and they just never really got back on track apart from the efforts of Nick Theo and Jack Dobinson.
And exactly right. The task was too large for those people in the middle. The bulk of the runs needed to come from the top order, and unfortunately today, they weren't able to get the job done. Which it's unfortunate to see, but you can't put the blame on the middle order batsmen. There really should have been a few more runs scored at the top of the order, and you can't lose wickets in clumps. And that's how you see teams lose from nigh unlosable positions, wickets in clumps. And that's what bowling units look for, because they know that once you lose one, you're a massive chance of losing more. And unfortunately for Keira today, that's what happened.
4-run victory for the Northern Districts Butchers, defending 90. Keira 9 for 85. The Butchers now 2 from 2 on this grand final day. Victorious in fourths earlier today. Their first grade team is waiting in the wings to take on the Helensburgh Tigers in our 2020 first grade final. Nathan Alterator from Thirroul, thank you very much for your comments this afternoon.
Thank you, Travis.
And Troy Coleman from the Keira Cricket Club, mate. Best of luck with the remainder of your first grade season.
Thank you very much. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, we're going to take a short break. We'll be back streaming live Bar Sports TV, powered by Johnson Legal, for the Cricket Illawarra 2020 first grade final between the Helensburgh Tigers and the Northern Districts Butchers shortly.